Yeah, you know the deal. You nothing change. Judah Ben. Yeah. Here we go again to open up the show again. Suckers want to copy, so they try to wonder where we been. It's Thomas from the Bronx talking boxing, football and baseball and sometimes wrestling. Plus he all about the dough like Fosse. You might even catch him live, be on IG. You know he still rock with sock, even when the whole block is hot. Chillin' in the cut like a doc. A lot of cowards, they act fake in a spot like they taking a spot, but imitators a pop. Tommy dropping out gems like a treasure chest. Every other week you might catch him with a special guest. Like the champ Keith Cologne, he's a regular. Took pics with Bud, so you better show him love. BBO and D Free playing safety. They blocking all nonsense. Sonny, change your conscience. Yeah. You already know the deal. Judah Ben. Tell a friend to tell a friend, son. Tommy from the Bronx. BVO, D Free, Socrates in the spot. East St. Louis.
Gotcha.
TDsportstalk in the house. Let's go.
Champ of the world. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, chat.
What I gotta do, let y'all niggas know, I am the nicest ever. I'm quick to tell me. That in the middle of little did we know that we riddle to middleman who didn't do diddly.
Yo, what's good, everybody, man? What's good, man? Happy Friday. Good evening to everybody here in the YouTube world, man. Salute to everybody in the building, man. I'm going to see who's in the building real quick. Just give me a minute. Don't know how long we're going to be on, but I figured I'd go on today. Wanted to show off the new logo that I've been working on. Got some other things in the works, too. Want to start up. Last week I did say that I was going to be done with Friday Night Sports Talk, because I didn't want to stick to just Fridays. I didn't want to just say, you know what, Friday's my day and that's it. I wanted to now just kind of focus on, what I got going on in collaboration with what STN got going on, if that makes any sense. Meaning, if I got something I want to say, I got a topic or something I want to talk about, I'm going to come on. If I got some time, you know what I'm saying? I'll coordinate it with my peoples, with the group, and then I'll go live, you know what I'm saying? So instead of just sticking to Fridays. And then also, Fridays there be fights I want to watch. Sometimes there's events I want to go to and stuff like that, or I got things, I got to do. So I figured I'm going to start something new and fresh, kind of related more to me, you know what I'm saying? And, obviously I'm Thomas from the Bronx, a.k.a. Tommy D, TD Sports Talk, you know what I'm saying? And, I am from the Bronx, so I figured I'd do something that's related to me, you know what I'm saying? So I feel I'm working on this, and we're going to do this new podcast. We're going to call it Boogie Down Boxing, you know what I'm saying? And, because I'm in the Boogie Down Bronx, and kind of inspired a little bit by my man, DP Rocker, because I'll be talking to DP Rocker a lot, you know what I'm saying? And we had a conversation today, and it kind of, after I spoke to him, I was thinking of doing something, and it's just like, yo, Boogie Down, Boogie Down Boxing. So I'm not sure if people like it or not. I kind of like it. I'm kind of feeling this little, this little setup I got going on. It's kind of still in the works. Maybe this is the final thing. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I wanted something to more identify with what I got going on, identify with myself. And obviously, I talk boxing. I talk all sports, actually. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sports fanatic. You feel me? So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And it is what it is. And let me see who's in the building real quick. What's good, everybody? Salute to my man B3 in the building. B3 Picks in the building. Salute to you. That's my guy. Go sub and subscribe to my man B3. They be cooking daily on the weekdays, you know what I'm saying, and sporadic lives as well, maybe on the weekend as well, in collaboration, of course, with the People's Network, the Sports Talk Network. My man, Mr. Shell. I knew you was gonna say something. I thought you was gonna say like Woogie Boogie or Oogie Boogie. I thought you was gonna say something crazy, but I'll do Gangsta Boogie. I'll take that. But I was expecting you to say something funny. I'm not even gonna lie. But shout out to my man, Mr. Shelton, the real Mr. Shelton up in here, man. Salute. Jamie TV, what's good, Jamie? Hope everything is well with you. Salute to you. I got to go over there, and I haven't sung in a minute, so I got to go over there. I know I say that all the time, but eventually it's gonna happen. You're gonna be surprised, and we're gonna do the karaoke, man. I promise. My man D Free in the building. Yo, well, it was good, D Free. I'm gonna open the panel a little bit, probably a little bit. 11. Gonna just talk a little bit, and then I'll open up the panel for anybody can come up as long as you keep it respectful, keep it boxing, keep it to what the topics are. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could come up and talk their shit. Obviously, we got to be respectful at all times. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go on a rant in a little bit. And, and you guys may think it's disrespectful, but it ain't going to be disrespectful because it's going to be my opinions and what I feel on certain things and certain boxing topics that's going on in the YouTube universe or the YouTube community, whichever one you prefer to call it. My man, Daniel Berry, Sports and Highlights. Salute to you, my friend. Always coming through every time we're live, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. I was able to make it to your live last night. Appreciate you. You was doing the Lakers game. I believe it was the Lakers game last night you was doing. So yeah, salute to you, man. I was glad to actually finally go over there and say what's up. And there we go. That's what I'm talking about. The boogeyman, the boogeyman, the boogeyman. I can't even say that. You got me sounding like my other co-host, Ryan Garcia. You should have put a razor. Man, salute to my man PGA's big dog, man. Pittsburgh big dog in the building. Big Steelers fan over there. I don't like the Steelers, but I rock with my man PGH big dog all day, every day. Salute to you, bro. And salute to everybody coming through. I'll try to obviously highlight the screen as people come through. Like I said, I will open up the panel in a little bit. I think Socrates said he's going to come on. I'm sure D Free will come up, and anybody else, of course, is welcome to come up and talk about what they're talking about. You can come up and kind of question what I'm about to say right now and some things. But tomorrow we got some fights. There's some fights going on in Pro Box. Not really interested in it. I should be interested in it, but I'm to be honest, I'm not. I haven't been really interested in it. But the good thing about Pro Box, I can actually watch it anytime I want. So tomorrow during the day, I can go back on YouTube and watch the card if I want. So that's the cool thing. Kind of like last Saturday when I was watching the Cotto card, I rewatched that throughout the week. I just only saw my man El Capitan Christian Barreto. So that was the only fight I really wanted to see. But I went back and saw some of the Puerto Rican fighters, the Latino fighters on the card in Puerto Rico last week. But that's the cool thing about the YouTube, right? Pro Box and the Cotto promotions and some of these other ones that are on YouTube. You can always go back anytime and watch it. So salute to my man Oplin LD. Salute Tommy Dope, new logo. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Glad you like it. Still kind of in the works, but I'm kind of feeling it right now. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate you, man. Definitely. And my man Bruce Gas Jazz and more. Excuse me. Salute to you, man. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you coming through. So yeah, man, let's get started. Tomorrow we got some fights. We got Emmanuel Navarrete, 39-2-1, super featherweight. I believe he's the WBO super featherweight champion. 39-2-1 with 32 KOs. They call him Vaquero. I think that means cowboy. Always come with the cowboy hat. He's taking on a tough foe as they're looking to unify the 130-pound division. He's taking on Eduardo Sugar Nunez, who's 29-1 with 27 KOs. And he is, I believe, the IBF super welterweight champion. The other two champions, obviously, Oshaki Foster, WC, and the Dickens. I don't even know his first name, but we'll just call him the Dickens, mate? The Dickens is the other champion. I believe he's the WBA super featherweight champion. Don't really know much about the Dickens. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that should be a good fight. Navarrete hasn't looked good in his last few fights. His last fight, he fought that Filipino guy, Charlie Suarez, and I thought he was losing that fight. And then he got the controversial knockout, but it was really off for a headbutt. And they eventually scored it right and called it a no contest. So they never had the rematch, which sucks for Charlie Suarez because I thought he deserved a rematch. 37-year-old guy from the Philippines, and when is he going to get another opportunity like that? And he was doing really well against Navarrete. Navarrete, like I said, hasn't been fighting all that well. But at the weigh-in today, he did look good. He looked better than he has in previous weigh-ins. I'm not going to lie. And then he's going to be facing Sugar Nunez, who's I think he's a great fighter. Competition-wise, hasn't really been up there, not as battle-tested as much as Navarrete has, but this is a big opportunity for Nunez. He is the favorite going in. He's almost a 2-1 favorite. I think he's minus 175 is the last I checked. So you got to risk 175 to 100. And then I think Navarrete is giving you like plus 140 or something like that. My man, Stop Motion MMA is in the building. Salute to you. He says Sugar Nunez is the next great Sugar. Hey, you might be right. You might be right. But this is going to be his first real test. Navarrete is getting up there. I mean, they're both fairly close in age. I think Navarrete is 31. Nunez is 28 years old. You guys can fact check me if I'm wrong. I did some homework earlier, so I'm trying to memorize everything in my head. But I believe 31 and 28. I do believe those are the ages. And Nunez, his last fight, he fought a decent guy, Christopher Diaz. He scored a unanimous decision. He did drop Diaz twice in that fight, and he kind of dominated the fight. He hasn't looked spectacular, but he can get spectacular knockouts. He's got some pop. So a lot of people think that Nunez is going to win this fight by knockout late, like Navarrete will the gas tank will probably wear out. It should be an exciting back and forth fight, but some people think that Nunez will get him out of there. It's interesting because both guys, big knockout punches, heavy handed, and the over under is like 10.5. I would think it would be a little bit lower, and it's like minus 200 for the under, I believe, which kind of makes sense. I think it was minus 200 or something for the under, which is almost 2-1 for the under. So not sure if this is going to distance. I'm not going to lie. I'm picking Navarrete in this fight because I feel like his experience and Nunez is kind of made for Navarrete. It's kind of like what's the guy's name? Valdez, right? When Valdez fought Navarrete, kind of like the same type of fighter, straightforward, and you saw what Navarrete did. I'm not saying they're the same exact fighter. Nunez is getting his first opportunity, so I don't expect him to fight exactly, but I feel like Navarrete is gonna pull this one out. I feel like he's gonna get a late stoppage in this, or it's gonna go to a split decision. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nunez stops Navarrete as well. But Navarrete throws a lot of weird, awkward punches, and his volume is very high. So definitely an interesting fight. It should be action packed. This is a good TV fight. I'm looking forward to it. The undercard is pretty decent as well. You got my man Emiliano Vargas is on the card. Not sure who's he fighting. And then they got another fight. Tamir Smalls is taking on Abel Ramos. Abel Ramos' last fight was against Mario Barrios. They went to a draw. I believe that was an undercard of some Jake Paul card. I feel it was a Jake Paul card they fought. And they both dropped each other in that fight, if I'm not mistaken. Ramos 28-6-3 with 22 KOs. Obviously had the draw. And Tamir Smalls, he fought my guy. Roman. And he dropped Roman early in that fight, right? But I thought Roman won the fight overall. So I don't know if anybody's seen Tamir Smalls out of Philadelphia. He's 16-0 with 11 KOs. I personally, now there may be a little bit biased because I like Roman and I know Roman's manager and, I'm Team Roman. But if you watch that fight, yeah, Tamir Smalls got him early. I think he dropped him in the second or third round, if I can remember correctly. And it was a big knockout. Roman came back, and I thought Roman pretty much outboxed Tamir Smalls, who was pretty much looking for one-punch knockout. He was looking for the big punch pretty much the rest of the fight. Wasn't really trying to set anything up. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like Roman outboxed him. Should have got the decision, but Tamir Smalls got the decision. One of the scorecards was ridiculous. I think two scorecards were pretty close, but one scorecard was ridiculous. I think it was like 8 rounds to 2 or something like that. That was insane. But I really thought Roman won that fight, to be honest with you. But you guys go check it out for yourself, see if I'm capping or if I'm just showing bias. But I think this is a different type of fight for Tamir Smalls. Abel Ramos is going to be there to be hit on all day, all night. So I feel like Tamir Smalls should get the win and should get the knockout. I feel like this is another exciting fight. because Smalls' defense is not really all that as well, at least from what I saw. So I think this is an action-packed fight, but I think Tamir Smalls is the bigger puncher. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ramos stopped Smalls too. So this is definitely not going to distance. I got Tamir Smalls winning by a knockout by like the 5th round. So that's just what I got. Let me see the comments. I see Stop Motion is talking about the fight real quick. Salute to my man Slide Encounter up in the building as well. He says it's going to be a very entertaining fight. I lean towards Navarrete. Okay. My man Stop Motion says, I had Emmanuel at first, but I heard he got to Arizona late, so I'm picking Sugar. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. See, that's good. This is good things to know. Even though, like I said, I was looking more at the weigh-in and how good he looked at the weigh-in, right? And compared to other weigh-ins, because usually he's pretty soft to the body, and he still looked a little soft to the body, but not like in the previous weigh-ins. But that's good to know. Especially if anybody's putting money in a fight. Valdez is a little dude in comparison. Yeah, that's true. That's an excellent point. Emmanuel struggles to make weight, but today it looked like he looked good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He lost to that Puerto Rican that robbed Jaleel Hackett. I didn't think that was a robbery against Jaleel Hackett either. I thought it was a draw at best because Jaleel, I thought, tired down the second half of that fight, and I thought Roman outboxed him. I actually broke that fight down. I think Jaleel won like the second, third, and fourth clearly. The first round, Roman won against Jaleel, and then the second half, then you could kind of pick your point. It was a close fight. Not really a robbery, but if you want to say robbery and you thought Jaleel Hackett won, I have no problem with it. I don't think it was a robbery. It was definitely a close fight. So let's see. Tamir is decent. I think Tamir is decent. He's still coming up. He's kind of like the protege of Boots. I think they train together. They spar together. Both Philly boys. So, I think, but Ramos is kind of tailor-made for him, in my opinion. So we'll see. Because Ramos is not going to box like Roman did, right? And I don't think Tamir Smalls was ready for Roman. I don't think he did his homework on Roman and how well he can box. I'm not saying he's the greatest boxer in the world, but he's very good. He's very decent and good technically, and he boxes more. He's not your typical Puerto Rican going up in there looking for the big left hook. He can box. He has a good jab, Roman, and he's tall too. You know what I'm saying? And he has a good reach, and he uses that reach with his jab. So I don't think, in my opinion, Smalls was prepared to fight a guy like Roman. But listen, he got the win, right? So credit to him. But this fight will be totally different from him fighting Ramos, because I think he's tailor-made for him. Tay in the building. Salute, Tay. What's going on? Salute to you. I appreciate you coming through. Go subscribe to my homegirl, Tay Brown, the real queen of MMA. Stop Motion. He said, off talk about how do you feel about people glazing Ryan now? We'll probably talk about it later, because one of my co-hosts actually likes Ryan, and he'll probably glaze him too. And I don't like to say that because then he's gonna want to fight, because I'm saying he's being a glazer. But we'll talk about it definitely. I definitely don't like it at all. I'm not a big Ryan fan. I don't think he's that good as people claim he is. I think he has terrible feet, terrible legs, and he had the right opponent. He had a guy that was there to be hit on and beat on, and Barrios is probably the worst champion I've seen in probably my lifetime, right? So, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm not feeling it. I don't like Ryan. I think Ryan is scum. But here we're supposed to be kind of like unbiased, but that's a guy I just don't like. Off the Barrios fight, I thought he looked the Barrios was terrible. They only had one game plan, and he didn't really execute the game plan that I guess Joe Goosen kept yelling and saying the entire night, and the instructions about attack the body and pressure him. He didn't do any of that anyway. So they obviously went with that plan, didn't really execute that plan. No plan B, no plan C, no plan D, and Ryan pretty much did what he wanted. One tell in that fight about Ryan is, he looked good, obviously, the first round, right? He dropped him. You thought that he was going to probably stop the guy, but he didn't close the show. He didn't really close the show. He probably won every minute in every round of that fight, but he should have stopped him. So to me, it just tells me, like, Ryan's level, I think any other welterweight would have stopped Barrios, in my opinion. Any other, definitely the champions. So, but yeah, the WBC was looking to make Ryan a champion. Ryan coming off the loss against Rolly Romero, been out for a while, and then boom, he gets a title shot. It's a travesty. At the end of the day, the boxing establishment, they wanted Ryan to be a world champion, and they got what they wanted, right? So It sucks. I don't like it. I think that's what's bad with the sport of boxing. But what are we going to do, right? We need somebody now to go and fight Ryan and shut him up and just, get him out of the sport eventually. Because I don't think he takes boxing seriously. I don't think he has respect for his opponents. I don't think he has respect for the game. And I just don't think he has respect for people in general, right? I think it's a facade every time he talks about, he brings religion into it and stuff like that. I think it's just fake. It's just fake energy. And listen, you're not going to hear me say anything nice about the kid. That's just what it is. You feel me? But yeah, moving along. I'm going to drop the link in like 2 minutes. But what I wanted to talk about is, you guys know that I rock with Keyshawn Davis. I like Keyshawn, and Keyshawn had a kind of like a meltdown and a kind of a bad look type thing, and a bad thing. I don't know. I don't want to say bad thing. It sounds too. I got to find the right word. But he had a bad moment, right? A terrible moment, if you ask me. It's with the weight, coming in overweight versus De Los Santos, and then when his brother lost to Nahir Albright, he they went to the back, tried to cause him. They said they jumped him, which they didn't really jump him, but they tried to, or they definitely some disrespect, and they definitely try to impose their will, with the numbers over Nahir and their team, say Albright and his team. So, but with that being said, I held him accountable. I made a live. We spoke about it, and I said, Keyshawn was wrong, and everybody makes mistakes. Hopefully he learns from it. He builds from it. Top Rank was definitely upset with Keyshawn. That's why I believe he was on the shelf all this time. Top Rank was kind of punching because they lost a lot of money. They had to refund a lot of tickets because he didn't make weight. A lot of people came to Norfolk, to Virginia to see him. Yeah, his brothers were on the card as well, but he was the star of the show. He was the world title fight, and people came to see him, and a lot of refunds were given out. So Top Rank lost a lot of money at Keyshawn. So with that being said, I was very critical of Keyshawn, right? Now Keyshawn is back. He comes back. He gets a tough, durable opponent in Jermaine Ortiz. Excuse me, not Jermaine Ortiz. And a lot of people thought this was kind of like not a 50-50 fight, but they thought it could have been like 60-40. Based on from the YouTube community and the universe and people I've seen online and the so-called unquote experts that make picks, a lot of people thought that this fight was going to be a close fight. And Keyshawn went in there, and I thought he had a brilliant performance. I thought he looked really sharp, especially early in the fight. And I noticed something about Keyshawn. I think his IQ is much better than what people give him credit for. I think it's obvious, and I think to everybody they see that Keyshawn is a dog. He's a little bit cuckoo, right? And he has a lot of dog in him as well. But I do think he can box, and I think he showed that versus Jermaine Ortiz. And on top of that, I think he showed great IQ. And to finish the show, now mind you, they probably didn't have to stop the fight, right? I don't know how much pain Ortiz was in, and if he really was not going to get up. The ref did seem to kind of stop it kind of quick. I was there live in the building, but at the end of the day, Keyshawn saw something. He was hurt, went to the body. He busted up his face as well. He was upstairs, downstairs. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just an attack to one area, and eventually saw a weakness, and he took him out. And you can only do, but praise the guy for the performance that he had. And I thought it was a great performance against a guy that was very competitive with Lomachenko, right? Very competitive with Teofimo Lopez, right? And then you got a guy that Keyshawn Davis that just washed him. I mean, it was a wash. It was nothing close about this fight. Yeah, Jermaine might have had a few moments in the fight. I'll give him that, but it was nothing like the Lomachenko Ortiz fight. It was nothing like the Teofimo Ortiz fight. I thought he beat Teo. I thought he did enough. I didn't think Teo did enough. But Teo was the champion. They gave him the victory. And the Loma fight, I thought arguably it could have been a draw. So with that being said, I thought Keyshawn, phenomenal performance against Jermaine Ortiz. So what happens next, right? The talk is he going to fight, Devin Haney? Right? There you go. That's me and Keyshawn. That's a real picture made into a cartoon, by the way. So we really did take a picture, and then I got the other picture with me and Keyshawn after he won the world title. But a lot of people are saying that he doesn't want to fight Devin and that he's doing this for clout. the whole Debo Dev and stuff like that. I'm here to tell you that I 1,000% disagree. And I'm going to tell you why. I do believe Keyshawn wants to fight. Just off of my conversations with him, his energy, and I really feel like he wants to fight the top guys. I do feel he wants to fight Devin Haney. But I don't think Bill, let's see, I'm going to get my words right. I don't think Bill wants that fight right now like they say they do. If that makes sense. I think Bill thinks in his mind that Keyshawn doesn't deserve a fight with Devin Haney. Because with Keyshawn, when they interview Keyshawn says that, yeah, he wanted to fight. Yeah, he called out Crocker, right? But he also said he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Devin. He said in 2026, but he wants to fight with Devin. But the last I checked, now mind you, we've had a promoter on this show, in this channel. I've spoke to a couple managers, and they talk about the business of boxing, right? Keyshawn is a fighter. Yes, Keyshawn can represent himself to a T, but at the end of the day, you got to go through the representatives that represent him, that handle the business moves, that go ahead and deal with the offers, that deal with the venues, that deal with the dates, that deals with the weight, that deals with the money, how much, you know what I'm saying? Keyshawn said, let's do it. Talk to Jay Prince, talk to Jay, right? Which is Jay Prince. Jay Prince is the manager, right? Top Rank is willing to negotiate, do it anyway, because I really, in my what I believe, now we don't know this, right? Unless somebody's in the business and know this, which nobody's going to be able to prove that, right? I believe Top Rank is pretty much done with Keyshawn. I think what happened in Norfolk, and I think they punished him by kind of put him on the shelf for a little bit. I think they want to get rid of him, but they are obligated to Keyshawn for I don't know how many more fights where he has to play promotional fees. Basically, that was a Matchroom kind of a turkey card, the Shakur and T.O. fight. But he still had to pay promotional fees to Top Rank no matter what. The same as T.O. T.O. had to play, and T.O. explained that when we had T.O. on the show. They have to pay promotional fees to Top Rank. So did Shushu. Shushu's a Top Rank fighter too. Yeah, they're ring ambassadors, right? But they're still under contract promotional-wise, and they have to pay promotional fees to Top Rank. With that being said, I saw Bill in a couple interviews saying that, and admitting to that, saying that Keyshawn said now all of a sudden he's saying to speak to Jay, I'm done with that. We've moved on from Keyshawn. What that tells me is one or two things. One, Bill and Dev don't want the fight right now, right? Or two, they already got something working and negotiating with. It could be Xander, and it could be Ryan. They're working on something else, and they just don't got time for it. But at the end of the day, I don't like using the duck word, right? Because you hear me in the show, you hardly ever hear me use the word duck word, because I really truly don't believe fighters duck any fighters. There ain't no fighter really scared of any other fighter. I truly believe that. If you want to believe that, that's on you. That's fine. That's your opinion. I don't believe that. I think fighters are maybe a little worried about losing to an opponent, or maybe, getting a bad decision or losing, and then that ruins their reputation in some way in the future. I think, they may be afraid to lose, but as far as afraid of throwing their hands on another fighter, I totally disagree with that. I don't think any fighter is afraid to throw the hands with another fighter. These are professionals. If you ask me, if I'm afraid to throw the hands with somebody, and depending on the person, I'll be like, this dude is kind of big. He kind of, what, what I'm saying? And, he's been training. I mean, I haven't fought in years, that's a different story. But professional fighters, no shot. No shot at all. So that's why I'm saying, like, if Bill and Devin really want the fight, they can make an offer, or they can reach out to Jay and say, look, let's get it popping. Because what people are not telling you, and you see, I watch a lot of YouTube channels and I watch a lot of things, and I see Bill go to a lot of places. Bill was definitely in the works with Xander, and they were definitely on the phone with Peter Kahn. Who else they weren't talked with? I don't know. It's hearsay, he say, she say. But he proved that because he showed his phone. I believe it was on the Boxing Voice, and he showed that. And I even got into an argument with Cesar Cerda, who's a Puerto Rican media guy. And he does great work, Cesar. But he lied because he was telling Bill that he was lying, and he was telling Bill that, oh, you didn't talk to Peter, you didn't talk to Peter, and Bill's showing her the phone. Look at the logs and look at the time we was on the phone together. So, and Caesar's like, okay, whatever. And then Caesar makes an Instagram post. I told you he was lying. And I go and I comment on the post and I say, Caesar, man, you're doing an injustice, because if you have these connections and you're saying he's lying, then show us the proof that he's lying, because it's he say, she said. He embarrassed you. It said, you're lying to us right now. So what did Caesar do? He said, who are you to tell me I'm a liar? And then he blocked me. So it was crazy. So I was in defense of Bill Haney and Devin that situation. And we'll just say Bill, because Bill's the one making the moves. He's making the calls. He's making the business moves right now, because he's the one in charge of Devin's career. Yeah, Devin wants to fight. I totally believe Devin wants to fight anybody. I believe that 1,000%. But at the end of the day, it's Bill the ones that's making all the management moves. That's just what it is. Fighters don't make fights. They can say yes and no to fights, but they don't make fights. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's the promoters and the managers that make the fight. They're the ones behind the scenes that's working everything out. And it's the fighter that's trying to get it understood by their team and to understand the contract and the offer and say, this is what it is, to say yes or no, and then sign the contract or sign the offer sheet or whatever it is. It's not, they don't make the fights. They don't make the negotiations. They could put in their 2 cents, but at the end of the day, that's why they have a team that represents them, to handle these issues. So what I'm saying is that Bill saying that he's moving on from Keyshawn and from Jay Prince just tells me that they either got something in the works or they don't believe that that Keyshawn deserves a shot. And my argument all in that is that they put out this list, right? And to me, the list is a gimmick. It's a pretty good gimmick, a good strategy. And that list has been out for like a year, and they had Keyshawn on that list for a minute, right? And that Keyshawn, when they put that list out, I believe Keyshawn just became a world champion at 135, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the list came out like in April, right? Or it came out. No, it might have came out May after the Ryan fight. No, excuse me. Sorry, after the Ramirez fight. Excuse me, after the Times Square card, I think the list came out. I could be wrong. Like I said, you guys get an opportunity to come up and talk to me and tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I believe it was afterwards. So at that time, Keyshawn was the 135-pounder champ, and he had just won. I think he won the belt in February, right? I was in the building, right? And the picture that I took with him was after the fight. He won the title. So, and in that moment, I think Keyshawn was already negotiating, and they were supposed to have the fight with De Los Santos. So that kind of took him off the table. But yeah, he was on the list. And that's what I'm saying. This whole listing is kind of like. It's kind of like a gimmick to me. It's like basically saying, these are the guys I want to fight. Let's do it. But some of those guys, they're already involved in talks with other fighters, or they already got something else going on. And that doesn't necessarily mean that all of these fighters are ducks. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, now the opportunity has come, right? And Keyshawn just moved to 140. He hasn't won a title at 140. Is Devin really going to give him a title opportunity at 147? Is that the case? Because at the end of the day, Keyshawn says he wants it, and I truly believe he does want to fight. And with Bill saying what he said, listen, man, I'm tired of people saying that Keyshawn's ducking. I really do think he wants this fight. And I believe that they wanted to do their best effort to try to make this fight. And I just think that Bill, they go in a different direction. So I just want to go up here and talk about that, because people keep saying that these fighters are ducking, they don't want to fight. But at the end of the day, these fighters don't make the fights. It's the promoters and the managers. And at the end of the day, yeah, Bill Haney is Devin Haney Promotions, right? But the money is coming from Turkey. He's not funding. He's not getting the venue. He's not selecting the dates. He's not, you know what I'm saying? He has no power to do that. They can talk about these things with the other team or with the opponent and work everything out and work the logistics. And then they got to get a real promoter, right? A real promoter that has the funding and has the money to put it into the fight, to make the fight. So a lot of this, like, I'm not saying I'm an expert on the business, but I have spoken to managers. Listen, also shout out, this Sunday, we got a big interview with Thomas Lamana, who's a former fighter and now a promoter. So we'll be asking him questions like this so he could tell us, what is it the job of a promoter? What is their job? What do they do? And he can tell me if I'm right, wrong, maybe he don't know information on the situation, but he can tell me, give me some examples. Like, that's what we're going to be asking him. So this is just my opinion. This is what I truly believe in. But at the end of the day, I don't think any of these fighters is ducking. anybody else. I do feel bad for Dev because I think he is getting blackballed to a degree where fighters don't want to fight him, and I think that's fucked up. I truly believe that. But right now, if they really got nothing going on, because I don't really know. I really do think they're trying to work something out with Xander. But if they don't have nothing solid and concrete and really going on, I don't see why they can't negotiate with Keyshawn when he says go, when he's telling you go speak to Jay and let's do it. And then you're saying you're going to move on. That doesn't make sense to me. If somebody could make that make sense, please, you're welcome to come up. I'm going to drop the link in about 30 seconds. But if somebody could make it make sense, please do. But it just doesn't. When you tell me you've moved on, and if you got nothing going on, right? You got nothing, no negotiations going on with any other fighter. You got open dates. You got no fight plans, nothing set in stone. Then what are you doing? What was the point of putting him on the list in the first place? So, yeah, so that's about it. Let me get the link. I'm going to go to the chat in a minute. I see there's some comments. I'm not looking at the comments, but I'm going to look at it right about now. Sock is late as usual because he said 11 o'clock. It's 11:20. He's a jerk. But hold on one second. We're going to get to it. I'm sure people probably calling me a hater too, because that's what Mr. Perfect fans like to call me. They like to call me a hater. And if you don't know who Mr. Perfect is, that is Devin Haney's new name. And it's not anything disrespectful because Mr. Perfect, one of my favorite wrestlers, that was Kurt Hennig. If you know Kurt Hennig for wrestling, Mr. Perfect, that's who Devin Haney is. And the reason why I name him Mr. Perfect is because not necessarily Dev, but his team can't do any wrong. They're always right, never wrong. And that's what Devin Haney fans will tell me all day and every day. So his name, and I even made a picture of it too, and people might get mad at this. I don't care. This is Boogie Down Boxing. There go Mr. Perfect right there. The link is in the chat. If you want to come up, talk to me, explain it to me, break it down to me, educate me if you can, and we can have a conversation. No disrespectful shit. Don't get stupid, because then I'll get stupid right back, and there ain't nobody want to try to throw their hands and meet up with me straight up. So I'm dead ass serious. You're gonna have to come to the Bronx to do it. But yeah, my man D Free in the building. Yo, how you like my picture of Mr. Perfect? You like Mr. Perfect up there? D Free, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, yeah. You like my picture of Mr. Perfect?
Yeah.
And Mr. Perfect, this is a picture of Mr. Perfect. He's mad tanned in this picture, so it looks like it's a brother, but it's Mr. Perfect was white. Kurt Hennig was white, but and it's not a white black thing. It's just that Kurt Hennig was absolutely perfect. If you guys don't remember the gimmick of Mr. Perfect when he threw the freaking football to himself. I mean, and then he, the jump shots he was making, and the hitting with Wade Boggs. Then you guys obviously don't know what I'm talking about. But let me look at the chat real quick before D Free cooks. I think Keyshawn wants smoke, but Devin is chasing bigger names, and that's fine. That's good. I listen. I respect that, and that's what I think. If you got something else going on, that's a beautiful thing. That's good. But for the people saying that Keyshawn is ducking, I think that's ludicrous right now. That's my opinion. I think Top Rank are disappointed in Keyshawn, but they will still want to keep promoting him because they see star power. They would be stupid not to. They would be stupid not to let him go. They have to keep him. I agree with you. My man, prize fight in the building. Salute. My man, D Free, who's going to cook right now. He says Devin is the A side. They are who supposed to send the offer, and it could be Turkey who doesn't want to fight. That's possible. But at the end of the day, it's like you said, Bill and Devin are the A side. They have to go reach out to Jay Prince and then eventually talk to the Top Rank people. But, I don't know. I mean, like I said, if I don't know what I'm talking about, D Free, go ahead. Let me know what you think on the situation.
No, I think you're spot on. When it comes to these fighters, I think a lot of people they trap every fighter in the position of one fighter that's able to make calls and make moves. Every fighter is not allowed to or in position to do what a Canelo Alvarez can do, a Floyd Mayweather or Tank Davis, or even quote unquote a Devin Haney. All these other fighters are not at that level where they can make their calls and make the moves that they want to be able to do. And even to a certain extent, guys like Tank Davis and Devin Haney are not really in position to make the fights that they want. They can suggest fights that they want. It's still up to the promoters, the people that has the money to put these fights together. It's still up to them to make that fight happen. They can say they want the fight all they want, but if the money is not backing that fight is not being put on. And I think a lot of people they want to put everybody in the same position. Oh well, this fighter was able to make this fight happen. Well, he was in position to be able to do that. These other fighters are not in that position. These other fighters are really quote unquote employees of the promoter. Mm-hmm. The promoter say, okay, this is the fight that we're going to put on the table for you. Or these are the 3 fights. Out of these 3 fights, who do you want to fight more? And then it's okay, well, this is the fight we're going to give you. So I think a lot of people want to put everybody in one big bag because one fighter is able to do it and think that every fighter has that same obligation or have that same right to be able to make fight. And it doesn't work like that. I mean, we heard from Bernard Hatchett, we heard from Scully, we done heard from a lot of different trainers, a lot of different managers that said the same exact thing that we're both saying. These fighters are not in position to make these calls. Everybody is not doesn't have that same position like a Canelo Alvarez to be able to go to promoter and say, hey, look, if you want me to come over here, I need this fight. If you can't give me this fight, I'm not coming over here. So I think a lot of people just have that confused. Oh, why he taking that fight? Well, that fight was offered to him. These other fights wasn't offered to him. He said yes to that fight. These guys got to make money. They're not going to sit around and just wait for you to give them an offer. They got to make money. They got bills that still come in every month, whether they fight or they don't.
I agree. I agree. And it's like you said, I like the way you spoke about the bigger names in the sport that are able to do that. You know, at the end of the day, like fighters they can go to their promoters and they could go to their manager and be like, I want this fight. But even fighters can't really go to their managers and say that in most cases, unless they're big name fighters where they can, or big name managers where they can actually go and speak to the proper people. But like they would have to go to the promoters to really make the fights. Like I really do believe they want to do that. And I like I said, I don't want to talk badly about that because I really like that, right? It's just this facade that around him that this guy can't make mistakes, that they never been wrong, right? And I truly believe that he wants to make the big fights, right? But he can't just say, yo, give me this guy, because it wouldn't have happened already. And yeah, I think guys don't want to fight him. I do think he's getting blackballed to a degree. But at the end of the day, these fighters, they can request it, but they can't make the decisions. And then you have, Bill, who's his dad, and obviously looking for the best interest for his son, and he's his manager as well. And I guess, Devin Haight, a promoter as well. Yeah, that's all good. He's in the best interest. He's handling the business moves, but Bill cannot make a fight. He can't make a card, right? Like he's a promoter, but he can't make a card. He can't be like, he can't book the spear and 5 or 6 fights on that card. He's not in position to do that. He's in position to speak with other people and try to make the fight. And that's why when Keyshawn tells him, like, yo, go speak to Jay Prince, let's make it happen, and I'm sure Bill has to go to freaking to Turkey and say, look, this is the guy we want. What can we do? How much is there for the fight? You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's got to have those conversations. But at the end of the day, him just talking to Keyshawn is not going to make the fight. Keyshawn can't make the fight. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people understand that. And then, it's the quick and the easy thing to do is say, oh, Keyshawn is.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if that was me.
My bad, guys. Can you guys hear me? I don't know. I got kicked out. I don't know with the stream.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? I don't know what happened. I got kicked out. Like StreamYard is.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was you or me. I was like, hold up, did something happen on my end?
Yeah. I don't know. StreamYard's been bugging. Yesterday was bad as well. When I did the show with Rich, I don't know what the hell's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's a new laptop.
Just like you said, like none of these guys are a bigger star than Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson wasn't able to make the fight that he wanted to make. He had the whatever Don King put in front of Mike, that's who he fought.
Facts.
Mike Tyson is a bigger star than all of these guys. Even right now today, he's a bigger star than all these guys. And he wasn't able to make whatever fight he wanted to make. He fought whatever Don King gave him. And so I mean, even Floyd, until Floyd got to the end of his career, Floyd wasn't making the fight that he wanted to make. He was making the fight that Top Rank gave him. He was making the fight that Golden Boy gave him.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they gave him, that's who he fought. He could say, "Hey, I mean, we remember the reason why he left Top Rank. He wanted the Oscar De La Hoya. They said, no, we're not giving you that fight. We're not giving it to you." So he couldn't make the fight that he wanted to make. And he's a bigger star than Devin Haney. Even at that time, he was a bigger star than Devin Haney is right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it sounds good. To me, it's a gimmick. Like you see the picture of Devin Haney, Mr. Perfect. Like wrestling is a gimmick, right? You got to have a good gimmick to kind of get over in your career. I think it's a great gimmick, and I don't take anything away from him. Like because like I said, Devin Haney fans will be quick to call me a hater, but they don't even go to fucking fights, bro, and they don't even know shit about boxing. I'll keep it 1,000 with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing about hate. It's just we're talking about the sport, and some people really don't know how the business works, and they want to act like they know. And listen, I don't know everything, and I'm not saying I know everything, but some of this is kind of common sense. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I have certain people on, when we interview, because I want to learn about certain things in the sport, behind the scenes, right? Because a boxing fan, we see what happens in the ring. You know what I'm saying? But outside the ring, we really don't know what's going on. But there are a bunch of things that do happen that are common sense. And I just don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And it's quick to call somebody a hater, right? Because you disagree with them. But this YouTube environment or this media environment or the people with the podcast and stuff, at the end of everybody wants to be right. Everybody has opinion, but their opinions is gold. Nobody can ever be wrong. And with me, I don't mind being wrong. But as long as you can explain it to me where it makes sense, where it's believable, but don't lie and make shit up. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people do that, to make themselves sound good. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, then you got people with the big channels, and they're like the Pied Piper, and you got the fucking ratons following them while they're playing the Pied Piper. All the rats follow. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna agree with anything they agree with. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I have no problem with it. But when they come and try to get at me, or maybe you or somebody that I rock with, and then be like, "Oh, you lying? You don't know what you're talking about." Motherfucker, when's the last time you've been in a fight? When's the last time you spoke to a professional fighter? When's the last time you spoke to a fucking manager? When's the last time you spoke to a promoter? So how are you going to tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? You only repeating what these other channel members saying. So if you want to have a conversation with me, you feel me? That's the whole premise of this new show. I'm going to, people come up and let's have a freaking conversation about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't these guys calling people haters and stuff like that. It's pretty common sense. And I think you broke it down and I broke it down as far as like what's going on. And I didn't even try to discredit Devin any type of way. I'm just saying I just think they moved on from the situation. But at the same time, the people that are backing Devin Haney are calling Keyshawn a duck. And I don't think neither are ducks, but I just think it's kind of like they contradicting themselves saying that, when Bill's basically telling you, "Oh, I ain't talking to Jay. I ain't dealing with him." And it's like, you're frustrated. You gave up. But at the end of the day, you and Keyshawn Davis's DMs, and Keyshawn can't make the fight. It's his representatives that make the fight, which is Jay Prince and whoever's at Top Rank handling it. So that's just my thing with that. And I wanted to come on and say that firmly and in hopes that somebody come up here and prove me wrong or explain otherwise, but ain't nobody going to do shit. My man, Crush the Legend.
I think from these guys, they take one side of the story and they believe that's what happened. You talk to one side of the story. So because you talk to Shakur Stevenson's team, or you talk to Devin Haney's team, or you talk to T.O.'s team, but you never talk to the other team, you just think automatically they're telling the truth. Oh, well, no, they sent them all. Okay, but do you know what was the reason why they didn't take the offer or Do you know what was the reason why they decided to go with another fight? You can't just take one side of the story and believe that's the truth
Yeah,
because you rock with that individual or you don't like the other individual. It's always two sides to a story in every situation. There's two
absolutely.
sides to a story.
Absolutely. There might be stuff that I don't know, and I may be wrong on this. I may be wrong, but when I present the facts of what has been said, because I didn't lie, I didn't make a lie about anything. I just basically told you what happened, and I gave my opinion on the situations on why they said what they said, each guy, and then I gave actually an excuse for Bill as to why he said what he said, saying that they might have something else going on. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really referring to him as a duck. It's just the people that call it Keyshawn a duck. I truly feel, right? And this is more of an opinion. I truly feel that Keyshawn does want to fight Dev, and they do want to fight. But nobody can really prove that, right? Because when somebody says, "Oh, they're not going to talk to Jay Prince as a representative," you kind of just ended it right there. You kind of just said, "You know what? It's a done deal. We're not trying to make the fight." So you have no case, bro. So that's basically pretty much, what I'm saying as far as the whole situation. So,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've seen that happen to a lot of fighters. It's not just Devin. I mean, I've seen it with David Benavidez. I've seen it with Shakur Stevenson. I've seen it with a bunch of different fighters. Uh, they want to fight a certain fight, and the fight don't happen. They're like, oh, they fighting somebody else. Oh, they ducking. No, you don't know the reason why they fighting somebody else. You just think because you want a certain fight and they not fighting it that they ducking. But you don't know the reason why they not. Like, I mean, it doesn't make sense unless you have all of the facts right there in front of you. You have both sides of the story, and you say, okay, well, y'all was offered a certain amount of money. You said you want a certain amount. They offer you that, and you decide to go a different way. You can't say it's a duck.
yeah, no, that's another thing too, and I'm glad you brought that up too. It's like everybody's so quick to call somebody duck, and you listen. If I wanted to give another excuse and another reason for maybe why they act like that, it could be frustration. They're frustrated because they want to see their guy, their favorite fighter, get a fight, and he hasn't got a fight because there have been legit other guys avoiding him. So so I'll give that to them, but you can't, to call everybody a duck and just say that somebody's scared of them and that they don't want to fight. That's just crazy. And I just don't, this is what the YouTube universe is doing now. You know what I'm saying? It's making excuses for their favorite fighters, and they value their favorite fighter more than the sport itself. And I just think that's crazy. I come up here and I try to speak about
this is the perfect example. Like they want to say Jerome Boosin is duck Devin Haney. I'm like, how you figure he ducked Devin Haney? Oh, well, Devin Haney wanted to fight him. Well, he said they can fight at a catchweight of 52 because he was going to 54. He said they can fight at a catchweight of 52. So he didn't say, no, I'm not fighting. He said, yeah, we can do it at a catchweight. Devin Haney said, no, we're not doing it at a catchweight. So the fight didn't happen. But now we got Devin Haney trying to fight Xander Zayas at 54. Why he not trying to fight Jerome Bousinis? That's the person that's on his list. According to what the list that he put out, Jerome Bousinis is on the list. Xander Zayas wasn't on that list. If you go to 54, the bigger money fight is Jerome Bousinis, not Xander Zayas. So are you looking for the big fight, or are you looking for a belt fight? Because if you're looking for the belts, then say that's what it is. You can't say I want the big fight. Devin Haney wants all of the big fight, and you said you wasn't going to fight Boots at a catchweight of 52, but now you're going to 54, or you're trying to go to 54 to fight Xander Zayas.
Listen, I agree. I didn't even want to go there, but but since you brought it up, I think it's all about convenience. It's all about convenience. I don't want to even say narratives. It's all about convenience, right? And it all goes about like who you're a fan of, right? And people are going to tell you, oh well, Dev's the A side, so he could call the shots, right? They're so quick to go that way. But the same thing goes for the smaller guys, because Dev moved up to 147 technically right after May 2nd, right? So that list, technically, he's a 147-pound fighter, even though he fought at 144 against Ramirez, right? So some guys on that list were at 140. there was some guys on that were at 135, and then Boots was at 147. So like it's so inconsistent, bro. It's ridiculous, bro. It's so inconsistent, and it all depends on how they flip it. They're gonna, the fans are always gonna find a way to flip it or turn it around to make it in their favor, and it's very inconsistent. So like the same way they want to go to Xander, now it's about the belts, and that's cool. I mean, listen, no hate, but at the same time, you still going up to 154 to fight a 154 pounder. But Boots was on the list. Yeah, he doesn't have a title at 154. And when you put him on the list, you wanted the 147 title. I mean, I'm going to be their defense attorney at the same time too. Like, I'm going to try to be fair. But listen, he said 152. If you want to fight, big money fight, let's do it. They said no. But now they're able to go to 2 pounds more, 154, because it's for a belt. So which one do you want? Or do you want to fight the little guys? Tell the little guys.
I'm not even talking about, like, I'm not even going at Devin. It's the fans that's saying that these guys. I've never heard Devin say Jerron Boots in his ductum. I hear the fans saying that, and that's what I'm saying. The fans are sitting here saying Jerron Boots in his ductum when Jerron Boots never told him, no, I wouldn't fight you. He said, I'm going to 54. We could fight at a catchweight.
Yeah,
but I'm going to 54. I'm not staying at 47. So I don't understand how one guy said, yeah, we can fight at a catchweight. I'm already moving up to 54. I already made the announcement. I'm moving up to 54. We can fight at a catchweight. And he said he ducked him. The only person that said no in the situation was Devin Haney. He said, no, we're not going to fight at a catchweight.
It's just crazy. Real quick, shout out to my man B3 Picks TV. Salute to my man B3 with the super sticker, the $3 super sticker. I appreciate you, B3. Go sub to my man B3. They be cooking over there weekdays in the afternoon, and sometimes they do fight calls as well. Go subscribe, Sports Talk Network, B3. Let's go green. I haven't heard that in a minute, so I'm going to go with the slogan, let's go green. Salute to my man B3.
Yeah, I haven't said that in a while. It's been a minute since you said that.
But yeah, bro. I mean, this is just what fans do. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna defend their guy, and it's cool. I've no beef, but I got to call it for what it is, and I already went into it. I'm still upset about the whole Tiger situation because Tiger could have been a proponent, right? He was ranked in the top 10. They could have threw him some money. It wouldn't have been big money, and they could have had a fight. That would have been a good fight. I don't think Tiger's ready for Dev, but it's just we're in a place in the sport where it's inconsistency. It's about the belts. It's about making money. We got a lot of fighters now. We're in a generation where these fighters act really weird and say weird things, and they carry book bags or purses, and I mean, I don't know. They wear these weird clothes, and and it's just showing my age. I mean, maybe I'm just getting too old, and I don't know what's going on and stuff like that.
No, I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. The problem is you are a fan of the sport, and a lot of these people that's watching boxing in today's time are fan of fighters. They're not a fan of the sport. They're fan of fighters.
Yeah.
So like guys like me, you, Prize Fighter, a couple of other guys, BBO, for the most part, we're fan of the sport. Yeah, we're going to chill on certain guys, but we're fan of the sport. We want to see good fights. We don't want to see trash fights or anything like that, but we want to see good fights. So we're not going to go too far left with a situation because we know it takes two to tangle. A fighter could want to fight all day long until that other fighter says yes. All he's going to do is want a fight. So, I mean, it's a two-way street because one day you might be sitting here saying all this about your favorite fighter and saying, "Oh, this guy is doing this. He's not trying to fight that fight," or he took another fight and they're not trying to make it. The next day, your favorite fighter can be in that same lane that other fighter was in, where somebody else is trying to make that fight with him, and he's not taking that fight because of whatever reason. It could be the same exact reason why the other guy didn't take the fight with your favorite fighter. But you're going to give your favorite fighter a way out or make every excuse in the world why your favorite fighter didn't have to take that fight. But when it was the other guy, oh, he was supposed to take the fight. So you can't have it both ways. It's better if you just keep it straight down the middle and call it for what it is. That way, they can't say, "Oh, well, you said this for this guy, you say this for this guy now." No, I'm saying the same exact thing for every guy. I don't care who it is. I'm saying the same exact thing for every guy.
It's just tiring, man. As a boxing fan, I do have favorites, right? But I hold them accountable. Listen, I love Sabril Matias, but I picked him to lose the fight. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think he was ready for that fight. I didn't think he was going to beat Dalton Smith. I didn't think the fight would go down the way it did, but I picked Dalton Smith to beat my guy, right? And I hung out with Dalton Smith after the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, because I appreciated what he did. I appreciate, to be there, seeing a world champion hang out. I mean, it was a cool thing to be a part of. You feel me? And listen, I love Shushu, right? But you're not going to hear me say Shushu over everybody and stuff like that. I'm going to critique it the way it is. I mean, I'm going to have a little bias towards some of the guys that I like. Don't get me wrong. But I just think, like, this generation with some of these fans and who they like, they put the fandom over the overall sport, and I just think that's corny, man. I really do. I just think it's really corny. I'm not saying Shushu's the most perfect fighter, but I rock with Shushu. You know what I mean? I feel like I got a relationship with the guy. Every time I go to his fights and we link up and we have a brief conversation. Same thing with his pops, right? So of course I'm gonna have some sort of bias towards him, right? But I'm not gonna push Shushu over the entire sport. There's no way, bro. You know what I'm saying? I like Keyshawn, I like Dev too. You know what I'm saying? But I just think, like, it's just crazy, man. When the whole Devin and Brian Norman thing happened, it was crazy. Brian Norman took the fight. I didn't like what happened with the when they first met, and the whole thing with the bodyguards and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, who did I pick to win that fight? I picked Dev to win the fight because in my mind, I was just like, Devin is just a way better fighter. And it went down pretty much the way I thought it would go down. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, I'm all about the sport. And like, this podcast is all about the sport. It's not about, being just a fan of one guy. Yeah, we're going to bring guys on the show. We're going to interview them, and we're going to give them, a warm welcome. And we're going to, we're going to praise them, promote them, and we're going to wish them the best. And we're going to hope they do great. We're going to hope they do become champions, Hall of Famers, etc. Because I wish that for everybody. It's just like, not everybody can win. Not everybody could be undefeated. Not everybody could be a Hall of Famer. Not everybody could be a champion. But I do wish that for every fighter. You feel me?
I said it to the actual fighter's father. I told her. I mean, Bernard Hatchett is on our channel every single day. He's on our channel every day. He comes on the platform. We chop it up or whatever. But I like Jalil, and I told him. I said, if Jalil fight Law, I favor Law in that fight. I think Law beats him and I gave my reason why. He said I can respect that. I can respect that because I'm not going to just pick Jalil because I like him because his father comes on the channel all the time. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you exactly what I see, and I favor this guy to beat him. I like Jalil. I hope Jalil will win, but I'm going to tell you, I'm favoring that guy to win the fight. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for anybody that I see in the sport of boxing. Yeah. I might like them, but I'm a favorite. Like, they asked me about daggone Jerron Businis and Antoine. They were like, Antoine beat him 3 out of 4 times in the amateurs. You think Antoine will beat him now? I'm like, hell no. Hell no. Jerron Businis beat Antoine right now.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? With that being said, and this is another thing I've said a lot too, is that we could still pick against them, but we can still root. Like, yeah, I picked Dalton Smith to beat Sabril Matias, but who was I rooting for in the fight? I wanted to be wrong. I was rooting for Sabril Matias. Like, we can still root for our guy, but we can still call it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, like I'm gonna root for Xander, and I think Xander beats Dev at 154 now, right now. I mean, if they was to fight the next fight, I'm gonna pick Xander to beat Devin. Right, and I think that's going to be a close fight, competitive fight. Right, I'm going to root for Xander. But if Xander fought Boots, right? I'm like, shit. I'm like, oh shit, he's in trouble. Like, I think Boots is gonna beat Xander, but that doesn't mean I can't root for Xander and wave the Puerto Rican flag and go crazy, and every time he lands a punch, go nuts,
And
right? So I mean, you can
I
still
like
do that.
Vander, and I like Vander, and I've been a huge supporter of Vander since the very first time I seen him fight, and that was probably about 3 years ago when I first seen him fight. I think he was like 18 at the time, maybe 19. And I've been a huge supporter of Xander Zayas, but if I said it the other day, if Xander Zayas fight Devin, I favor Devin because of the experience Devin had. But Devin is not walking through Xander Zayas like I heard a lot of people say, oh, Devin's
Yeah,
just going to walk. No, that's going to be a tough fight. It's a 50-50 fight. I favor Devin, but that's not going to be an easy fight for Devin. Xander Zayas is a tall, young, strong guy in that ring. He can move around the ring just as well as Devin can move around the ring. He
yeah,
got just as long as the arm reaches Devin. Devin's boxing ability might be a little more cleaner than Xander Zayas, but it's not an easy fight. I will favor Devin because of the experience, but
yeah,
that's not an easy fight at all.
yeah. Salute to my man Jeff Sparks in the building, man. Queens in the
What's
building.
going on,
I believe
Jeff?
he's from Queens, if I'm not mistaken. My man Jeff Sparks in the building. My man DP Rocker in the building. Salute to you as well. Kind of one of the guys that inspired me to change it to Boogie Down Bronx boxing, because he always be like, "Yo, Tom, the Boogie Down. You got to rep the Boogie Down." You know. And my man Oplin LD is back in the chat too. Salute, salute.
What's
But
going
yeah,
on,
bro,
brother?
like it's cool. It's cool to pick the and listen, we're not always going to be right. We could be wrong. Like that's what I'm saying. You can still root for our guy, and then what if Xander does Fort Boots and I pick Boots and I'm rooting for Xander and he gets the upset? I'm like, oh shit, someone gonna, oh, but you didn't think he would win. No, I didn't. But you know what? Maybe it was my cheering that did it. Like I could be a dick and
Right.
say that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, it should be about the
Hey,
sport, not really about the
I
fighters.
don't I don't know a single person in the world that has been correct on every single fight. We're all going to be wrong at some time.
Yeah,
I mean, if somebody is 100% on every pick, why are you not a millionaire? Because you
yeah.
should be
Let me
making
know.
bets every. You should be making bets every day. Bet your life savings on every single bet. You should be
Shit,
a billionaire right now.
for real,
So I
man.
mean, we're all going to be wrong at some point. It's just how what is the reason why you wrong? Are you wrong just because you are a fan of a fighter, or are you wrong because a guy surprised you and you didn't think he had it in him and he pulled it out?
Yeah, it happens. I mean, and I want to let me finish the statement because I don't want people to think I'm saying that it's not about the fighter. It is about the fighters, but I'm not going to put any particular fighter over the entire sport, because I wish the same for every single fighter except Ryan, because I can't stand Ryan. I don't hate Teo as much as Ryan. I just think Teo's a little bit more ignorant. I think Ryan is just a scumbag. But I want every fighter to win. I want every fighter to make their bread. I want every fighter to be a champion. I want them to do great and do good things, because it's a rough sport. You know what I'm saying? These guys are getting hit in the head in sparring, and then in fights. And I want to see them do well. You know what I'm saying? I have no hatred towards these fighters. You know what I'm saying? And especially when we have the young fighters up and coming, we want to build them up. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them have different stories and different backgrounds on how they came up. And I'm intrigued by that. You know what I'm saying? As a guy, obviously from the Bronx growing up, I played baseball and I coached baseball for many years, and I dealt with a lot of different variety of different kids, you know what I'm saying? And, and I just thought I loved it. I love working with the kids. I love, teaching them the game of baseball, having fun with them, interacting with the parents, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that was cool. I felt like I was doing something great in my community, you know what I'm saying? Because, some of them kids didn't have, their mom and their dad, or they were in a situation where their parents were split, and, it was difficult, you know what I'm saying, for them. And, and I might have been there to, like, hold the practice an hour longer so they could have been outside a little bit more, like things like that, So, and I'm intrigued when I see these young fighters come into the game, and especially not signed by big promoters. They got to really come from the mud up to really build themselves up. You know what I'm saying? That's intriguing, and I want to see them do well and do great things. But if we're going to constantly talk about just one fighter over and over again, and talk about they're the only ones doing the right thing in the sport and this and that. It's just getting corny and just old and played out already. You know what I'm saying? And listen, this is no attack at any particular people. Like my main focus was Keyshawn and Devin in this situation. And I just wanted to kind of put that to bed and just give my opinion on it because I just think it's silly and just stupid.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Because unless somebody can come up and explain otherwise, which I don't believe anybody can, then it is what it is. Shout out to my man BVO. Riverside, motherfucker.
There's nobody that's going to do everything right in the sport. If somebody do everything right, they would never have any problems. You would never have any problems. If Devin did everything right, he wouldn't have got knocked down 3 or 4 times against Ryan Garcia if he did everything right. So, I mean, nobody's doing everything right. They might do things better than other people doing it, but they're not doing everything right. There's nobody doing everything right. So,
No,
I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, if Devin was doing everything right, you wouldn't have had the incident at the state fair or the carnival, wherever it was at. You wouldn't have had the incident. His team wouldn't have had the incident at the Madison Square Garden. He wouldn't have the incident with his baby mother if he did everything right. Nobody's going to do everything right.
Things happen, and I never like to focus on the bad that they do because we all make mistakes. I'm not perfect. I've done some stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to focus on the good things. And I don't think Devin has really done anything bad. I think it's mostly like his team for the most part. What the things that you mentioned, some of those were like a couple years ago and stuff. So that's like way in the the back seat. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, even the Garden, I didn't think he did anything in the wrong in the Garden. It was his team. He threw punches with somebody, but now you're defending your family at that. I can't. I'm not faulting him at that. I don't criticize him for that at all. But it's just I think we got to stop. I think we got to stop certain things and certain narratives and just we're content creators and we got something to talk about and we want to tell a story and we're going to side with something, but I think it's just silly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially when somebody want to come on and call me a hater, like if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, like the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I
think it's just corny as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like we all men and fuck out of here.
People say that Devin offered. I mean, I heard some people say that Devin offered Keyshawn a fight a while ago. I didn't see that offer. They said that they did. I take their word for it because I didn't see that they did. I didn't see that they didn't. So I take their word for it. But I was like, okay, what that got to do with right now? They were like, oh well, they offered him the fight a while ago.
But they didn't even specify when it was a while ago. They basically saying that was the other thing I heard before Jermaine Ortiz. But he was on the shelf. They would have to talk to Top Rank. Like they weren't, they were trying to punish him.
Y'all talking about a year ago. We talking about right now. The guy is available. He said he wants to fight. He came up to Bill Haney and said he wanted to fight. Bill Haney said, take care of your business and we'll talk afterwards. He took care of his business. He took care of his business. I didn't see nobody send that man an offer. I didn't hear that they offered that man a fight. What I heard was, oh, well, they can make the fight. They just talk to Turkey. So, like I said, I'm not saying Devin don't want the fight. It could be Turkey that don't want that fight.
That could be another thing. I didn't even think about that.
I want to see you fight this guy. I don't want to see you fighting no Keyshawn Davis. I'm not spending $14 million for you to fight Keyshawn. I want to see you go fight either this guy or this guy or this guy.
That could I didn't even think about that. That could be very well true. And that's why, like, somebody was telling me in the comments, like I was on, shout out to my man 903 Boxing. He made a video about it too, and he was spot on. And then somebody got in the comments, I think his name is Joseph Jackson. Cool dude. I got nothing against the guy. And he made a good point, but I didn't agree with his point in this situation. And his point was that Keyshawn should get ranked in 147 under the WBO because he's not ranked yet. And in order for him, he has to petition for the WBO, and he'll probably get ranked in 147. And I'm like, why should he have to do that? He shouldn't have to do that because the whole thing was about the list, and his name was on the list. It had nothing to do with him trying to get ranked or anything. They never said that. The thing was like, take care of your business, beat Jermaine Ortiz, and then let's go. Let's make it happen. So that's what I'm saying. Like he made a good point, but it didn't suffice to the situation. You know what I'm saying?
And see that's what I be talking about when they say one guy has to do something, but when it comes to their guy don't have to do the same thing. When you say Keyshawn needs to get ranked at 147 in the WBO, well, Devin is not ranked at 154, but he's trying to fight Xander Zayas.
Well, no, but that's a little bit different. I mean, I know it takes a while for the petition there to be, because he's the WBO champion 147, right? So he could petition to be the mandatory. That's legit.
Yeah, he can, and that's the thing. He can petition to become the mandatory. Yeah. He can't automatically be the mandatory because he's not the super. He's the WBO quote unquote regular champion. So he has to petition to become the mandatory. He's not trying to petition to become the mandatory. He's trying to be the A side and have Xander Zayas fight him on a voluntary. Xander Zayas can say, no, I'm not being the B side. You can be the B side if you want to fight me for my belt. You can be my mandatory, and you will get the mandatory split. And see, but
even in this case, I think Dev would be the A side, but I think it would be kind of still on Xander's terms. I'll get to it in a minute, but shout out to my homegirl Angie Baby with the $5 super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you very much for the support. Good looking out. Once again, $5 super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you very much, Angie Baby. Go sub and subscribe to her channel as well. And then before I go on, BVO, of course, being BVO, he tells me to stay out of certain people's business. If Dev was Puerto Rican, that's absolutely false. Like, of course, I would be a fan, and and I would tell it like it is, but not like what's been happening now. You gotta, you know what? I'm not even responding to that, man.
The thing is, BVO jumped all in the Kool-Aid and didn't ask what did it have, sugar or what flavor it was, because we're talking about two black guys. We're not talking about a Puerto Rican guy and a black guy. We're talking about two black guys.
Yeah, he's just but to add to your point about Xander, if they was to make that fight, it's most likely going to be in Puerto Rico. I don't think it'd be Puerto. I think it'd be in Madison Square Garden, right? So that'll be pretty much a home field advantage for.
I mean, well, Puerto Rico is the state, but I think it'd be in Madison Square Garden as well.
Yeah.
Or at least somewhere over here. I don't think it'd be in Puerto Rico, but at the worst, Xander Zayas can get a 50-50 split, because, like I said, he can say, well, Devin, if you really want this fight, then you can become the mandatory, and you can get the mandatory split where Devin can petition the WBO to get a 50-50 split because of his status. He's a bigger name than Xander Zayas. Even though Xander Zayas is a unified champion, he's a bigger name than Xander Zayas, so he can get a 50-50 split. So if I was Xander's team, I would say, no, I'm not going to give up my championship status. He wants to fight. He can petition to become my mandatory, and at the worst, we would get a 50-50 split. Because if they do it the way that Devin is trying to do it, Devin is going to get the A-side status of getting a bigger purse. I would say, no, you're not getting a bigger purse. We can get the same purse, but I'm a unified champion. You are a one-belt champion in a division below me.
Yeah, you're right. But you know what's going to happen if that was to happen? Then they'll say that Xander's ducking.
They can say Xander duck all they want. I was like, okay, I duck. So what? I duck because they ain't paid me the money that I want. They didn't want to be my mandatory. That was a voluntary fight. He's not ranked at 154. That was a voluntary fight. He's not my mandatory. So
that's for you,
say
BBO.
Whatever you want to say.
Yo, BBO is crazy. Focus on Xander, leave Black Jesus Haiti out of it. He is perfect. He is. He's perfect. He spits the gum out, slaps it out. He is perfect. He's Mr. Perfect.
Yeah. Mr. Perfect. All he wanted. He gonna sit there right now. Right now, Devin is he's hoping that he gets the fight with Xander Zayas because Keyshawn already agreed to fight Lamont Roach. I don't know what Shakur is doing. Excuse me. I don't know what Shakur is doing. So he's going to be left with Shakur or Ryan. That's what he's going to be left with.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to get Shakur. I mean, I would hope he would. Listen, I'd hope he gets Xander, and I would hope he gets Ryan. I want to see Devin fight. I think it's messed up because he hasn't fought since November. He needs a fight. You got guys openly that ducked him. Like, I think it's wrong. He's definitely got blackballed. I don't agree with the Keyshawn situation, but I think fighters have ducked him, and I think it's fucked up. And I think he needs to fight. It's not fit. November, we're already in. We're about to start March, right? So that's 4 months later. Now you got to prep, add maybe like another 3 months. That's 7 months. Like, that's crazy. That's fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
This is what I don't want. What I don't want. Let's say Devin does make the fight with Xander Zayas, and let's say Devin wins that fight against Xander. Not saying that he will. Not saying that he won't. Let's just say he will. I don't want Devin to get those belts and then go back to 47. If you get those belts, stay at 54. Drop the 47 belt, stay at 54. Don't just come up there for that one fight and then go back down. Stay at 54. Fight those guys at 54. There's much.
Yeah, but he'll get But either way, I mean, I understand what you're saying. But if he was to do that, right? Yes, I would be salty as hell because he would beat my guy Xander, Mr. Celtic. You're 1,000% right. I would. But if he was to do that, I wouldn't. I mean, I would give him 1,000% credit again. Right? I mean, winning 2 belts at 154, your first fight. So basically, you had imagine this. I mean, that would be phenomenal. Listen, his first fight at 147 technically was for a title, even though 144 was technically his first fight. But all right, weighing at 147, his first fight, champion. First fight at 154, the next fight, champion. I mean, that's icon status right there, right? He'll 1,000%
I would definitely give him credit. I just don't want him to go back down because now you're holding up 54.
I mean, that's icon status. No fight has done that. Back-to-back fights, 2 different weight classes on back-to-back fights, championship fights, and you win. And imagine he beats Xander the way he beat Norman. I mean, I don't see it happening, but that's icon status. Then forget it. The Devin Haney fans are gonna freaking troll me for the rest of my life, and I gotta hold the L, right? Because I'm gonna pick Xander in this fight. I didn't pick Brian Norman. I wanted Brian Norman to win, but I didn't think he was gonna have a shot to win. I had Devin Haney win. So I mean, and rightfully so. That's the way it should be. I'm supposed to get trolled because that's what makes it fun. You know what I'm saying? If your guy beats my guy, they talk shit. If my guy beats, it's just like in sports. You know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Shelton, you're right. Salty undertones. You're 1,000% right. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like, how certain fighters are getting misjudged in certain scenarios. You know what I'm saying? But that's just basically what this is about. But and Matt, I mean, that we've never seen that. Like, we've seen Brad Crawford win undisputed 3 times, but he didn't do what Devin could possibly do too. I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm really, like, as I'm talking, I'm trying to think if anybody's ever done it.
He did.
Back-to-back fights?
Yes, in 3 back-to-back fights. He beat Earl Spence for undisputed. Then he beat Magnumar for the WBA champion, and then the WBA champion, and then he moved up and fought Canelo for undisputed again. He did it in 3 back-to-back fights.
Technically 2 though, because it would be Magomedov and then Canelo. So it's technically 2, not 3, because he was already at 147. But yeah, so then all right, okay, fine, all right. But still, that's kind of icon status, right? And Socrates, you're on time. I mean, you said 11 o'clock. It's 12. I don't know if your clock is messed up. But salute to my guy, Sock, man.
Central time. I'm on time somewhere. D-Free, Triple T, what up?
Nah, you would talk shit, and I wouldn't be mad at it, Mr. Shelton. I mean, you're supposed to.
Mr. Benjamin was good, Shelton.
So I mean, it's not really a troll. I mean, we say troll, but you'd be talking shit. It's like when the Seahawks beat your Niners back-to-back games and y'all didn't score a touchdown in 8 quarters. I was talking shit. I mean, rightfully so. If y'all did that shit, y'all would let me. You see what I did right there? You see, you see? But
you had to throw the miners in there.
Sock, what's good, Sock? We were just on the Devin Haney Keyshawn situation. I don't know if you got anything on that, but we got fights tomorrow. You can talk about the fights tomorrow, or whatever you want to talk about. Being that you're late, you got the mic.
Okay. Well, I was listening to the car. I mean, I was listening to you guys in the car with the Haney situation, and I saw the Photoshop of Devin Haney with the Mr. Perfect physique. I peeped that. Good job with that, Tom.
Yo, Mr. Perfect.
Because right now, I mean, he does have a perfect record. Despite what our eyes told us, he's the BoxRec says he's undefeated. And he has 1/4 of the welterweight titles. Finally, it's funny how the last 3 months changes. Like, we have star power now at 147. 3 months ago, it was probably the worst
Jesus Christ
era in what do you mean?
I'm just praying.
Why are you being blasphemous? Why you got to mention Jesus Christ?
I'm not.
I mean, I know we're on the Jew network, but why you got to say? But why you got to use the Lord's name in vain?
You're about to say something blasphemous, but go ahead.
We have star power at 147 because 2 months ago, when was it that Devin Haney whipped up on Brian Norman? 3 months ago?
November.
All right, about 3 months ago, roughly 4 months, right? We're in March, basically. We had Brian Norman, who's a solid fighter, but I think he was limited. We might have been slightly overrated him. We had the immortal Mario Barrios, right? Who struggled with Manny Pacquiao, with the ghost of Manny Pacquiao. And then we had the British cat, right? What's his name? Exactly. And then we had Rolly Romero. And Rolly Romero. So now finally we have some star power with Devin Haney, being world champion of the WBA, if I'm correct, right?
No, WBO.
The WBO. Okay, sorry. And the green belt, the prestigious WBC welterweight championship is being held by King Ryan Garcia. So at least 2 out of the 4 champs are household names, so things change quick. Life moves at you fast, right? Last week was a good week for boxing. It really was. I know that some people may not like Ryan Garcia, but you can't deny his box office appeal. And I've always been one that feels that you need star power for everyone to make money. And when you have someone like Ryan Garcia in the mix, it's good for the game. Credit to his father for okay.
Henry.
Henry. Yes. I'm kind of all over the place here, but when we talk football, right, we talk about coaching, right? When we did our Super Bowl preview, we talk about coaching matters. And sometimes in other sports, we see that we may say something like, damn, I think the game might have passed such and such, right? Is it safe to say that can happen in boxing as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it fair to say? Not safe to say. Is it fair to say, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, Joe Goosen, a Hall of Famer, has been getting a lot of criticism for what happened last week. I think partially a little unfairly, because who was the favorite last week in Vegas?
Ryan was a favorite.
Right? A solid favorite, right?
Yes.
So what Ryan Garcia did it surprise you? Did it surprise you, D-Free?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Did it surprise you, Tom?
To an extent, it did. I didn't think. I thought he would win, but I didn't think he would dominate like he did.
Okay. So somebody that just because I guess the way my algorithm is, and I don't think I follow him, but he just pops up every week. Another Hall of Famer, Tim Bradley. I don't know if you caught Tim Bradley
I don't
statements on
think
Joe Goosen.
Yeah.
Huh?
He was what?
Did you hear what he said about Joe Goosen?
No.
He said he asked the question, "How much did they pay you, Joe?" Which I thought was crazy.
Wow.
And I hope Joe Goosen, just for the shits and giggles, sues the fuck out of Tim Bradley. Okay, at least borrows a little bit of I hope he gets Devin Haney's lawyer and sues the fuck out of Tim Bradley, because he said, "How much did they pay you, Joe?" Because he said that basically Mario Barris he had no strategy, no game plan. I think most people that watch Mario Barris's career will tell you that at best he's a C-level guy with a lot of experience, and he's fought some good names, but he is what he is. I mean, what did you expect? I look at him, he's like a talentless Antonio Margarito. He's a big welterweight. I mean, I can't believe that he used to fight at 140. He's just well over 6 feet. But what did people expect? So, Joe Goosen, who is an OG in the game, a Hall of Famer, trained some huge names, the Ruelas brothers, James Toney and Michael Nunn, like Diego Corrales, like big names. All of a sudden, he forgets how to coach boxing. Was it his fault that Mario Barrios is limited? So I thought that was kind of entertaining. Just the Monday morning quarterbacking, I thought was very funny. And in the same subject of corners, what did you think of the Antoine Russell fight last week?
I thought it was a good fight. I thought the fight was a little bit closer than the
best fight. The best fight of the week, right?
You thought that was the fight of the week?
Yeah, I thought going into the 12th round, at least I thought that the fight was it was up for grabs. Obviously, the scorecards didn't see that way. I thought the cards were very, very wide. I mean, the low blow cemented it.
Scorecards, but I thought Gary won. I thought Gary won the fight. I thought Hiroka had some moments. Obviously he lost the point for the low blow. But I don't know if that fight was better than the Frank Martin Nahir Albright fight.
See, I think it was, because I think those guys are better, are high caliber fighters. So I think Martin is a C guy. I put him in. I don't think he's an elite fighter at all. I think he's a solid fighter. But I think Hiroka and Anton Russell are a little bit higher on the totem pole as far as skills, and I thought that was a very good fight, especially Hiroka. The backstory, him having the trouble with the visa, he got there late. He had not fought in almost 2 years, I think, and then the adjustments he made. I thought, I had to fight a draw. I had to fight a draw, and I thought that was the crate. Now the referee, I thought did a terrible job. The warning that he gave initially, and then he took the point, and he was almost forced to take the point because the low blow hit Antoine almost in the anus. Yeah. That was the craziest fucking low blow I ever seen in my life. Like, it was like, that was crazy. So I get it why he took the low blow, but after that, after only one warning, it's like, wow. But at the end of the day, it didn't really decide the fight at all, because Steve Weisfeld and I can't remember the other guy, the other two judges, their cards I thought were very unfair.
It was. I think one had it 117, 110 or something like that. It would have been 111 with the point. Yeah, I thought the fight was a little bit close, but I thought Antoine Russell won. D Free, I know D Free thinks otherwise. D Free, tell Sock what you thought. Oh, he's on mute.
Yeah, no, I had a 116, 111. I mean, I scored the fight round by round. Because like the first 6 rounds, Hiroka didn't do anything. He was just pretty much in the high guard and trying to jab and stay away from Antoine. He didn't really do anything. He started coming on late. Um, but I thought Antoine won two of the six rounds on the back half, which gave him the scorecard that they gave him. But I think Andy Hiroka um, solidify his name at the 140-pound division with the way that he fought in that fight because a lot of people that picked Antoine to win that fight, me included, thought Antoine would win by knockout. And Hiroka, I knew Hiroka was a big puncher, but I wasn't sure of Hiroka's boxing skills because of the level of opponents that he fought. He fought solely in Japan, and a lot of times those guys that fight in Japan, when they come over here, they don't really perform well. Well, Hiroka was a different story. He performed well in the back half. The first half, Hiroka looked like he was just going to get ran over. But the back half, he came on and he started going to Antoine's body, and I think that's
Mhm.
one of the reasons why he didn't get all of the back half rounds is because well one of them he couldn't get because it was a low blow call, so that automatically put him down 2 points.
Yeah.
But the other rounds, he was more so going to the body, and Antoine was mixing it up. It was one round where he clearly won because he was doing majority of the work to Antoine's body, so that was clearly a round for Aroka. But I thought Antoine won at the minimum two of the back six rounds. So that's the reason why I had it 116, 111. Because like I said, I scored each round, round by round, and we was calling the fight, and just about everybody had it exactly the same way I had it. It might maybe one round, it might have been one extra round they gave Hiroka that I didn't give him, or one less round that I gave Hiroka that they didn't give him. But we pretty much all had it scored the same way. Even
Yeah, he kind of
even one of
kind
the
of started
two
late.
of the judges had it. I think one of the judges had it the same way I had it, and one of the other and another judge had it. I think I said 17, 110 or something like that.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I guess it's. I think I agree with you with the early half of the fight, and I think that's where that ring rust was kind of evident. The guy had not fought in a while. Kind of took him a while to get loose. But Hiroka, his stock didn't go down. I agree with you. He made himself a name. Japan. I mean, he's half Ghanaian, half Japanese.
Yeah.
His father was the one in the corner. It was a big day for the fathers. The fathers had a good week, had a good showing. With Henry and Hiroka's father. Japan is kind of like in this renaissance of boxing. I hope he's active. I don't know why he. I guess did he just sit on his ranking? Like why was he not active? But
Well, this fight got
hopefully,
postponed too. I don't know if it got
okay,
postponed twice, but it got
okay.
postponed at least once. I feel like it got postponed twice.
This fight with
Yeah,
Russell.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
that
same
fight,
fight.
that
Yeah,
fight
Okay,
with Russell.
okay,
Yeah, the fight with Russell
okay,
got postponed twice because they
twice.
were
okay.
supposed to fight. They were
So
supposed to fight initially in August, and then they was fight on the because they were supposed to fight on the undercard of Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach rematch, and then it got rescheduled because Tank Davis canceled that fight and went to go fight Jake Paul. Then it was supposed to be on the
Right,
undercard of that fight,
yeah,
and it ended up getting scratched again because Tank Davis
mm,
got pulled out of that fight, and so they end up making it for last week. So yeah, it got rescheduled twice.
twice. Yeah. So
thank you. Good.
yeah,
Now I hope that physically if he's okay. I'd like to see Hiroka back in the summer at worst. Late, early June around that time, because I think if he was more active, I think I was really I'd really be curious. I want to see him get back into the mix again. 140 looks pretty good right now, but there was a guest commentator. Well, not commentator. He was in the. I don't even know what you call it, but Shakur Stevenson. He was a guest analyst after the fight, and he had it kind of like the way you had it. D Free. You know, he had Antoine winning big, but I don't know if you peeped Big Bro's interview, Gary Russell Jr.'s interview. Did anyone catch that? He was on some podcast. I think he was on the show with the guy that clowned Dana White at the press conference. What's his name, Tom?
Yeah. Does he with Porter too? Is Porter on that podcast?
Yes.
Porter? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. I know. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Did you peep Gary Russell Jr.'s comments?
No.
He said Hiroka would beat Shakur Stevenson. Wow. Which is funny because Shakur was glazing.
Yeah,
he was glazing. He was glazing Antoine Russell.
He did. Like, he
looked like when he like in that video when he went down on Berlanga when they were kids. It was like that. It was like that. It was like that. And then Russell Jr. just shits on him. I'm like, oh, okay. Big bro.
He said he like he went related on Berlanga. He did because he said, if I remember what
Am I lying?
Said, he said the fight wasn't close. He said that Hiroka won some moments in the round, but that Gary won most of the rounds. Like,
right. Was that
rounds, and then Hiroka might have had like 30 seconds of a round or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
So he did, yeah. So I'm shocked that Gary said that's crazy. See, I didn't see that. That's crazy.
That's yeah. So he said he will beat Shakur, and he said because he's got the range. He said he's got the reach, and he could punch. And I was like, okay. And we may be, look, we all, I think we all kind of suffer from recency bias. And Shakur Stevenson delivered a Picasso performance. It was like, I think not the last time, but it was kind of like if anyone ever saw Pernell Whitaker beat Azuma Nelson. Azuma Nelson's a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
Teofimo Lopez is, I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer right now if he retired, but he's going to be in the conversation. It was that type of one-sided beatdown, right? And right now, Shakur, for a lot of people, walks on water. But matchmaking plays a big part. I want to see Shakur fight somebody when he doesn't have the advantage of the reach, and hand speed. And there's a fight that the star of the division, Ryan Garcia, he called him out, and I think it would be a huge mistake if he came down to 140. Although Ryan's not really a welterweight, but Ryan Garcia, for all his flaws, maybe technically he has, especially from the waist down, his footwork, whatever, he's got two things over Shakur: hand speed. Well, three things: hand speed, reach, and power. So, just throwing it out there.
You would favor Ryan over Shakur.
I would have
140 and 147.
I think at 147, Shakur would never fight him at 147, not unless they make some fugazi rehydration clause, because that came right out of his mouth. Because to me, a catch weight is more respectable than a rehydration clause. All right? Because it's like you can't call somebody out and then put a stipulation in it. You know what I mean? If you're coming up at weight, it's like you know what? It's like, fuck it. You can have the handicap. I don't care if you're naturally bigger. I'm gonna beat you. Like did Roy Jones do that to John Ruiz? You know what I mean? Like, right? Because Roy Jones was the baddest man throwing hands, right? And he proved it.
I mean, when Pacquiao did it to Cotto,
but that was not. There was no rehydration clause. At least I don't recall.
No, that's what I was going to ask you, because there was a catch weight, but I don't know if they did.
Yeah, right. And you know what? That's even more forgivable because Miguel Cotto started his career at lightweight. Like Miguel Cotto kind of just matured into being a welterweight just by age,
Yeah, below the weight.
So,
salute. Queen 71, salute. Yo, my man never folds. What's good, bro? You late?
Yo, TD, D Free, what's the word, man?
Chilling, man. We just we're cooking on some of the stuff that happened last weekend, and we'll do some predictions for tomorrow, because I've been on for a while.
Yeah,
you and Socrates came on late. But You know, I was cooking on a Keyshawn Devin situation. I don't really want to go back into that again. We could save that for another day, or maybe wait to see what happens this week. But I don't know. We got some good fights tomorrow, guys. We got Navarrete against Eduardo Nunez. I think that's going to be a banger of a fight. I think that's a great fight.
Who you got winning?
I'll tell you right. Nunez is the big favorite, not the big favorite, but he's almost a 2-1 favorite, minus 175. Navarrete's paying plus 140. Navarrete, the underdog. I'm going to go with Navarrete. I think he has more experience. He looked good today at the weigh-in, better than what he usually's been looking at the weigh-ins. I know he hasn't looked good the last few fights, but I'm going Navarrete. I wouldn't be surprised if Nunez stops Navarrete, but I'm going to take Navarrete in this fight. I got Navarrete winning, maybe a split decision, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he gets him out of there late.
Yeah, that fight is kind of like a toss-up, bro. But for me, I gotta go with what you said. You feel me? Because Navarrete got more experience, so I gotta go with that. But that fight is a toss-up.
Sock, what do you like in that fight?
I'll be rooting for Navarrete. I've been a big fan of his. I think he's probably one of the best TV fighters we've had of the last decade. Wow. You know, I always liked his activity. As far as a TV watch,
yeah.
Name a boring fight.
No, you know, but I watch. He throws a lot of punches. He's got high volume. He's awkward. Okay.
Yeah, he was a darling of Top Rank. You know, and you know, that fight against Dog Bay, you know, he put him on the map. What he did to Valdez, one of the fights of the year, performances of the year. But I think that there's a lot of miles on that engine, and I think that, you know, he's shown his age. Now, he was a guy that was fighting 3 and 4 times a year.
Yeah.
You know, he was very active, and I think it caught up to him. And I think because of his body type, he seems like a guy that really blows up in between fights. He's pretty big. He was always big for the weight class. He was 5'7", fighting at 122. And his last fight had that technical cut situation.
And he was fight that fight.
Exactly. That's what I was alluding to. You know, so I'll be rooting for Navarrete, but you know, I gotta give it to Nunez, who has the less mileage. But you know, but like you, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, he hasn't fought in over a year. Well, going on a year since that fight. He fought May of last year, which is a long layoff for Navarrete. So I wonder how much of the camp was just bringing him down, you know, in weight.
Okay. So. Let me just read this comment. Queen Someone says, I wanted to take Navarrete, but he gasses late in fights, which is, you know, that's a good point. I like him personally, but this is competition. So I like Navarrete too. And I still pick Navarrete, but you're picking Eduardo Nunez. I think Queen Someone picked Eduardo Nunez too in the fight pool. D Free, who do you like in this fight?
I got Navarrete for the stoppage late.
Wow. Okay.
I think with the volume of punches that Navarrete throws, the awkward angles. I mean, most guys they typically get ready for a traditional fighter. It's hard to train for a guy like Navarrete because he's not a traditional fighter. He don't throw punches from the traditional angles that you would normally throw punches from.
Yeah.
He throw punches from weird angles. When you're supposed to be throwing a jab, Navarrete will throw a hook from mid range, and so, I'm sorry, not a hook, uppercut from mid range, and so, and he's throwing a high volume of punches. I think Nunes is a good fighter. I just don't know if he can deal with the pressure that Navarrete is going to give him with the amount of punches that he's thrown. I think what we saw with Navarrete, the fights that he did lose, he was in there with guys that were traditional boxers, and Nunes is not a boxer. He's more of a come forward fighter. He can box at times, but he's more of a come forward fighter. He's going to be right in front of Navarrete and Navarrete wants you to be right there in front of him. We saw that with Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez thought he could punch Navarrete, and he ended up getting stopped for the first time in his career. So that's what Navarrete likes. He likes for somebody to be stationary so he can throw his punches and throw a lot of them. And so I just think Navarrete's going to wear him down and stop him late.
Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, I agree. I said it earlier, earlier in the show. I said that he's similar to like Valdez, but somebody pointed out he's much tall, not much taller, but he's taller than Valdez. So it'll be a little bit of a difference. But I'm still going to go with Navarrete because I don't know how he's going to take these punches. I don't think he's fought anybody as strong as Navarrete either. That's another thing. So we'll see. I mean, this could be the moment for Nunez, right? Navarrete's 31 years old. That's not technically old, but he has some mileage. And Nunez is 28 years old. So,
well, for those weight classes, that is kind of old. They got 30. Guys that hit their prime a lot faster. Kind of like below 135. But is that on the zone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a decent card. The undercard, Tamir Smalls is fighting Abel Ramos. I think that's a good fight. Tamir Smalls from Philadelphia. He fought my guy Jose Roman. I thought Roman won the fight, but they gave the fight to Smalls. It was a close fight. Smalls dropped Roman in early in the fight, but Roman recovered and I thought he boxed well. Ramos' last fight was against Barrios, and that was a draw. They both dropped each other. It was a draw. So Ramos is going to be there to be hit. So it's a different type of style than Jose Roman, right? He's going to be there to be hit. So I think Tamir Smalls is there. This match was made specifically for him. He's 16-0 with 11 knockouts to make him look good. I think he's going to stop Ramos by the 5th round. So I think he's tailor-made for this guy.
And I see Emiliano Vargas is the co-main.
Yes, I don't know much about his opponent though. I can't recall.
He's Argentinian.
Huh?
He's from Argentina. I'm looking at BoxRec right now. He's got 2 losses, been stopped once, 13 KOs out of 22 wins. I mean, Argentinian fighters, for the most part, come to fight.
Yeah.
Recently active. I like that. He last fought in December. So, and Emiliano, I mean, he won, against his last fight, but, he went the distance. He went 10 rounds. So let's see. Obviously all the pressure's on him, right? He's the blue chip prospect.
Yes.
So let's see.
Okay. Anybody else got anything? Let me see. Never Falls, D Free. Got anything about Tamir Smalls and Roman? Not Roman, Ramos.
Yeah, I mean technically. Go ahead, D.
No, I was just gonna say I think Smalls wins that fight. I don't think he stops him. I think he wins by a unanimous decision. Abel Ramos is a tough guy. He's gonna come to fight. I think this probably going to be a tough fight for Smalls. This probably the toughest opponent that he's been in the ring with. So I think Abel Ramos, he got a little bit of chip on his shoulder from the draw that he got with Mario Barrios. He believed he won that fight. So I think he's going to come in there and really give it his all and try to get an upset win.
Yeah, I think you're right. Queen 71. I think he was trying to get the fight with Kakasi, and now he's going to fight. They gave the title to this guy, the Dickens. I call him the Dickens because I can't remember his first name. He's a UK guy, and they're supposed to fight. I don't think much of Kakasi, but yeah, I think you're right. I think he was supposed to fight Nunez, and they didn't take the fight for whatever reason. He's beating up on bums. Like I never thought that guy Lee Wood was any good. I think he beat up Lee Wood. And who he fought, Josh Warrington, and they both, and coincidentally, they both fought last week, and that fight was kind of, it was an okay fight, but kind of underwhelming. But yeah, I think you're right on that.
Well, Lee Wood, I think is a solid guy. He had a good career. I mean, I don't know how much more they could squeeze it out of him, But
he's exciting to watch. But I mean, he's a UK type of fighter,
right? Mm-hmm.
But he if you put him over here in the United States, he probably couldn't. Like Pedro would say, he probably couldn't win the Golden Gloves.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't. That's a little disrespectful because I mean, look at the scope of the world. I mean, I don't think that's correct. I mean, what do you think of a guy like Atoma? Moses.
I mean, he been fighting pros like Du Bois, AJ Fury, so they've been building him since he was a youngin. So Lee Wood is not in the category, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're fun guys. I think that whole UK scene, just the environment that they bring, like they rep their hood. Okay, they rep their hood. That's the best way I can put it. You could have Joe O'Connor against John Walsh. One from Nottingham and the other one from Sheffield or whatever. Name a city, and they're gonna pack the house. The Guinness is gonna be flowing. And they're gonna be swinging. They're gonna be singing "Sweet Caroline."
People don't know the UK not even that big, bro. You feel me? So you can't compare the two.
Yeah, but they do show out and they do perform good shows, but I just don't think with the quality of fighter. I mean, not like my favorite UK fighter. My favorite UK fighter of all time is Carl Froch. So Carl Froch fought everybody.
An exciting watch.
Yeah.
A fighting man.
Good. Carl Froch was good. He wasn't a bum. He was actually pretty good. And he fought the top guys, whether it was UK or the United States.
I want to see him and Tyson Fury's father.
Oh yeah, I hope he knocks. I would hope he knocks. I can't stand Fury. Oh my God. He's an ass. I hope Froch. I hope they do fight. I hope they do.
I hope so too.
Oh my God. I would hope Carl Froch knocks the hell out of. What is it? Peter Fury is his name? What I can't. Oh my God.
His name John
Fury.
Big John Fury. He headbutts cameraman, right?
Man. I would love for Carl Froch to knock him out. I would love it.
Yeah. Carl Froch is a good dude. I like Carl Froch. He's got a good YouTube channel too. You should check it out if you don't.
Lennox Lewis was from the UK, but I don't really consider him a UK fighter, even though he's UK.
What? And he won the fucking gold medal?
I know, but I don't know.
Why? Because why, Tom? He's got a suntan.
No man test.
Lewis is like this, bro. One day he's Jamaican, the next day he's English, the next day after that he's Canadian.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't. I mean, Lennox Lewis, technically, I guess he's UK. It's like me, but if you know me, Queen, you got to know me to know this. Like, I do this a lot with athletes in general, especially like when it comes to like the World Games with all these athletes, they play for other countries. They're not really from that country, like France. France's whole team is built from Africa,
Senegal,
France, Canada.
like from African countries, like France's whole team, and then like the United States in baseball, and then the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. They most of them they live here in the United States, but then they go play for like PR or DR. Like I mean. That's just me. So I'm not. It's not only the UK guys and Lennox Lewis. I do that with a lot of different athletes. I'm always complaining about that. France is the perfect example. And even the UK. The UK take a lot of players from African countries also.
Yeah, Canada do that too.
Yeah. So, but France's whole team is African. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Duh, you're not the only one that be complaining about that shit. I really be wanting to see the best continent versus the best continent, not like people that's trying to defraud the system, though.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch soccer, but soccer is like that a lot. They take them young, man, and I love soccer. And the World Cup is this year.
Yeah,
I'm gonna probably talk World Cup on this show.
I'm waiting for the World Cup, like you feel me, because like it be too many games going on with soccer, bro. It's a bunch of leagues, like. Too much, bro. And the games be dumb early. You gotta get up. We on the East Coast with it, so it's like you feel me. Like
No, but the games. Well, no. I watch the Premier League. Like I like Arsenal in the Premier League, but the World Cup is here in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. So the games will be a decent times. So
Who you got winning?
well, I always I root for the United States, but I always root for Germany too. So
They made it.
yeah, Germany's in. Germany's in it. But France and Spain probably have the top two best teams, and I think the UK, I think England has a really good team too. But I mean, France is always going to be the favorite, But Spain is really juiced. Spain has a really good team, and I like Portugal as a sleeper. I like Portugal as a sleeper. They got this kid Quenda who's really good. He's like 19 years old. He's really good. But Spain has a crew. So it's going to be interesting. The World Cup is going to be good. I think they added more teams this year.
I'm forgetting that Spain got the buddy that played for Barcelona. What's his name?
Oh, the kid, the Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Oh, Yamal Lamine. I can't pronounce. I mean, I don't know which way, but he's like 19 years old also.
Yeah.
They got Spain got a crew. Spain, France, because France got Mbappe, and they got some other players. The UK, not the UK. England has a really good team as well. This World Cup's good. Germany's pretty solid. They're pretty young. Germany's pretty young.
So for this World Cup, they overlooking Brazil, huh?
Brazil's pretty good too. They got some young guys too, but I think some of them are hurt.
Yeah,
like that kid, the young kid Esteval. He's hurt.
What's the guy that's going for the MVP over there? He from Brazil too. What's his name? Like he's scoring a lot of goals. I think he.
It's not Esteval. I was thinking Esteval because he's from Brazil as well.
I think he played for Madrid, if I'm not mistaken. Or does he?
Is it Vinny Jr.? No, Vinny Jr.
Not Vinny. The other one. I forgot his name, but last time I kept up with the league, like he was like in the leading with the goals and stuff.
Where's Vinny Jr. from? Is he's
Brazilian?
He's Brazilian too, right? Yeah, Brazil got a team. Yeah, but Vinny Jr. They got Esteval. I don't know if Neymar's still playing.
I don't
think he takes it serious.
See that's Brazilians' downfall. They like to party.
Gabriel, they got Gabriel.
Look at Ronaldinho, like one of the best ever. Like I don't care what people talking about. We talking about soccer, bro. For me, he the best. Ain't nobody seeing him. Only Pele seeing him. Other than that, I don't care. You talk about Messi. He taught Messi how to play. Really, feel me? So it's like them boys over there. They like to party and stuff. They like to They don't be focused for their whole career. Like they'll get to a point where they want to party instead of actually putting in the work. Look at Neymar. Like he be canceling games to go throw parties for his B-Day or his sister B-Day, bro. Like, what?
See, we changed the whole subject to soccer now. D3 went off. Goes up. No, but I'm gonna make a soccer show when the World Cup gets close. I definitely want to talk soccer. So now that I know that you know soccer, I'll put you in. Soccer come in. I got another friend of mine that follows soccer. So definitely, because I love watching soccer.
Yeah, it's fun. It's just now it's so many games that be going on, bro. Like, yeah, it's just and then like the players now I don't rank them. Like I'm into the throwback players,
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of good young players now. That
but they soft. They like on that Neymar stuff, man. It's like, come on, bro. They more divas and WWE characters.
Well, they all make a lot of money, and it's a lot of kids too. A lot of these kids are not even 20, 21.
Yeah, they getting on quick early too.
It's on TV. It's I mean the most popular sport in the world, but it's on TV 24/7.
It's too much.
But it's cool. I mean, listen. If you're a gambler, that's probably the number one sport that's bet on because it's just so much.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Just to kind of go back to boxing a little bit. Any thoughts on Zuffa's last show? Was it last Sunday? I mean, no, it was 2 Sundays ago. Two weeks ago.
It was a great card. The main card was great.
F.A. Jabe, and they threw up. I think right now they have over 50 fighters to their roster.
Yeah.
You talking about overall?
Yeah.
I think it's more than that. They added more. I think
Okay.
a couple days ago, I seen them add the list on social media.
Look, I've always Dana White, as a human being, as a person, is a piece of shit. I think that's just my opinion. I mean, fuck it.
Nah, that's a fact.
He's a piece of shit. But I support wherever there's a platform for fighters to be able to practice their craft, right? Because a few weeks ago I said boxing sucks right now because guys just don't fight.
Yeah.
The guys don't fight. I'm gonna put it to you like this: Pacquiao Mayweather, right? 47-45, right? That's
47.
That's
Floyd like damn near 50 or 49 or something.
So, but like when Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns fought their rematch, guess how old they were?
It was in the 30s. They was the mid 30s, I think.
Yeah, 30s.
35 and 33.
Yeah, mid 30s.
They would be in their prime today. Right? Which is just fucking mind-boggling. Like, because motherfuckers don't fight.
Yeah,
they don't fight.
With that fight, you really got to blame Floyd because Pacquiao been wanted the rematch. You know what I'm saying? Floyd waited till now he dealing with some he said now he want that fight because he need it.
Yeah, it's just but basically the reason I brought it up is because I mean boxing kind of did it to itself. Having all the problems that it's had, that it's opened the door for a piece of shit like Dana White to get into boxing, right? Yeah. So they have anyone to blame, it's themselves. With that said, the last show was pretty good. Now they've opened up their wallets, but what they're doing at the same time, a couple of their UFC fighters have already started chirping, which I knew what was going to happen.
I mean, they've been doing that.
Conor Ben, supposedly is set to make $15 million. And so where are they pulling this money out of their ass? Because obviously they don't have that money for their established guys like John Jones and
See, look, what people don't pay attention to is that the whole funding comes from the Saudis, Turkey, and them. So that 15 million is not coming from a Dana White. Dana White is a scammer. He's not paying his fighters. Turkey the one, and Saudi that TKO seller. They the one doing that.
Well, millionaires never use their own money.
Yeah, right.
They never use their own money.
And
Netflix. So that's going to be on that Netflix card. Conor Ben and Pro Graves. Salute to Pro Graves getting a payday. But I don't think anyone gives him much of a chance against a younger, stronger Conor Ben.
And it's at a catch weight too.
It's at a catch weight.
Crazy.
Any thoughts on Eddie? Any thoughts on how Conor Ben left Eddie Hearn?
Why or how?
Just in general, like your thoughts on it. I mean, Eddie was, blindsided it seems, but this is business, right?
I mean, both of them is nasty individuals. Like, Eddie done be doing dirt. Conor's a drug cheat. He's not a trustworthy type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a nasty game. And fighters gonna do what fighters do. Promoters been doing it to fighters. So hey, he just doing him.
Now the one thing about Eddie supported Conor through the whole situation, right?
I think you can't be mad at Conor, but you can be mad at Conor. I think you needed to have a conversation in that situation, like the relationship for what Eddie did. Now, listen, Eddie's probably snaked a whole bunch of people in his life too. Right. So what Conor did to Eddie, I'm sure Eddie's done that 10 times, 20 times, 100 times over to other people. But I think as a
Right.
human being, as a guy that looked out for you, that made you all that money in the Eubanks fight, right? You fought at a different weight. Then you pop for steroids. He had your back. Got you a couple of fights. You know what I'm saying, here in the States. You know what I'm saying? For you to go and just leave Dana flat, and at least not giving a conversation, like let him know, like, listen, Zuffa approached me. This is what they're talking about. What can you do? What should I do? Like, I think you at least owe the man an explanation. Now, mind you, like I just said earlier, Dana's probably done this 100 times over to other people, but I think as human beings, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. I think, he did take care of Conor Ben. I think he at least owed him a conversation to say, look, here's what we're gonna do. Here's the situation. What can you do?
See, did Ben give him I'm sorry, but did Ben give Matchroom the opportunity to match the offer?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they did. They
did. Oh, see, I didn't know that.
That's what.
And Matchroom said no.
So that just shows CD that the level of respect, because you could hate somebody, whatever the case may be. It's just certain things you wouldn't do if you respect that person, bro.
Yeah, but see, Queen says that he owes him a phone call. So I don't think he called Eddie Hearn. I don't think.
No, he ain't called him, because Eddie Hearn was crying about that. He said he didn't even get a text or a call.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's messed up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's kind of funny. Like I said, like Eddie's done this to many people, I bet. But what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. Conor owed the man a phone call, like Queen 71 says, like you guys are saying as well. He owed him a phone call, say, hey, let's, what can you do? Here's, the situation.
Hey, but not to get away from that, but what's crazy, bro? I don't know if you guys are hip to this. Both Matchroom and The Zone is on that list. I don't want to say the name, but y'all know the list that's going on, the most popular list. And the boxing media is not talking about that, bro. It's crazy.
What list? I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know that political list? A lot of
Let's say it. If it's gonna get numbers, let's say it.
Nah, I don't
drop the name.
Say the name on TV.
The Jew list. I'm sorry. The Jew list.
Huh?
The millionaire Jew.
That
was the Epstein. Let's say it.
Nigga, I didn't know. Okay,
nigga, let's turn up, nigga. Okay, ain't no, if you scared, go to church, nigga. Say it.
No. It ain't none of that going on. It's not my platform, so it's
fuck. It's all good. Tom,
I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know what he was referring to.
Yeah,
really?
Because things like it's certain things I don't do on anybody's platform.
Right? Nah, that's fine. I don't. So it's nobody. We don't have like hundreds of viewers on here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a small channel.
So the Zone owner is in the Epstein list, and then Matchroom,
really,
which is Barry Hearn, which is Eddie Hearn's father. He's in.
Okay.
Both of them is in there, and
wow.
The boxing media is not talking about it.
Really? Wow.
See, I didn't even know about that. That's how crazy it is.
Now, does it surprise me? No.
Nah, I don't.
Because one of the most prominent Englishmen is on that list.
Yep.
The Prince.
Yep.
Prince Andrew.
Andrew, yep.
And like you said earlier, the UK is not that big of a place. So money parties with other money, right?
Yeah, it's just
fascinating.
When I
damn, nigga, I'm gonna have to go in the rabbit hole.
When I think about that, I just think about why boxing is at the lowest point. Because things like that. Look at a Don. This dude got 2 bodies on his belt. They allowed him to walk in boxing where he's just doing whatever. Like in boxing, it don't matter what you do, who you is, what's your path. You can come in and just do whatever. So,
well, Don,
Sock, what should we do if we see your name on the list?
On the list? You would probably see me on Schindler's List before you see me on that list. What you talk about, cracker? Are you crazy?
Them guys on that list is rich, famous, and powerful people, bro.
Yeah, you talk about millionaires and billionaires. I'm a proud thousandaire.
That list, that's not rich, famous, and powerful. They're the ones that was getting abused, bro.
Ave Maria, man. Yo, you're Sock, you're a jerk.
Um, I mean, geez, that's fascinating stuff, though, man. I thank you for bringing that to the table. I'm gonna look that
I'm gonna
up.
look into that. Yeah, I did. That is. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. All you can just go to Google and just hey Barry Hearn Epstein list and the zone owner Epstein list, and the overview gonna pop up and it's gonna give you everything you need to see.
Wow. Yeah, that is news. I didn't know that. I gotta look into that.
They not reporting it. I'm one of the few guys that's actually talking about it and actually posted it.
Interesting.
Oh, I'm gonna look into that. Listen, guys, I gotta get off. I'm tired. I'm gonna try to go on again tomorrow night. Maybe do a fight call or something. I'm gonna think about it. Yeah, for now I'm done. I appreciate you guys coming up. Appreciate everybody that came through in the chat. Hopefully next time we come on, you guys come a little bit earlier. So, we could get to the topics right away. But this was good, especially the first half an hour to an hour of it. We got into some good topics and cooked on it. And we're gonna start this, Boogie Down Boxing. And we're not on again tomorrow, definitely check us this Sunday evening, 7:00 p.m. Eastern time. Tales from the B-side. Me and my man, the good doctor KG. We're gonna have rising star promoter and former world title challenger Thomas Cornflake Lamana. So stay tuned for that. And then we got some other things lined up as well. Got some interviews lined up for hopefully for this week as well. So stay tuned for that, man. We're working over here. We're trying to build and do something different over here. So appreciate everybody. Sock, any final words?
No, good show, good panel. Thank you. Sleep well, everybody, and enjoy the fights tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Elimination chamber tomorrow. Who wins?
I don't know, man.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I have no idea. Right now, honest, there's no
Who
bigger
won
mark than me.
I didn't see the last match. Who won?
Paul. Logan Paul.
Logan Paul? Oh, wow. Okay.
But Drew interfered in the match, hitting Jacob with the title belt.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, I don't know who to call. I mean, it looks like Cody's going to win, but I mean, who knows?
I think Cody has to win.
Yeah.
But I have an idea on how they should book that match or Cody's, part in WrestleMania, but I think they're going to take the bullshit 3-way match, which I hate. But this is not the show for it,
Yeah. We got to do more wrestling shows, but anyway, I'm out. Guys, take care. Have a good night. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Be safe.
Salute.